Welcome to the 4th episode of the UpBackThrough Podcast. It's going to be such an exciting one. My name is JACINTA Mngqithi, and it's an absolute joy to have you joining us today. Now, if you thought you're not the target market for this one, I can promise you definitely are, because this is the only podcast that gives you KZN culture mixed with some of your favorite guests, and not forgetting our favorite soccer team, the Golden Arrows. And that's why we're here, as I bring you some of the best players that you definitely want to hear from. So joining me today, before we introduce our guests, let's introduce the family members who are with me today. And I have with me Sifiso, Mlungwana, who's with us. And we also have Gladwin, Shitolo, my captain. And we also have joining us today Nqubeko, Dlamini, and the man himself, a legend of this game and also this football team. We have Coach Manqoba Mngqithi. So we're going to welcome you guys to the podcast. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
What's
up here?
Relax, don't be that nervous. I'm trying my best to say, okay? But as I promised, we also do have some of our guests joining us to make it feel like it's proudly KZN. And what best way to do that than to introduce a female that has done exceptionally well for herself and for the brand KZN. And she's a comedian, she's an actress, she's an all-round talented lady, and it's an absolute honor to have her joining us today. Let's welcome Celeste Ntuli, Mampemba. Shine,
Hello.
it wouldn't be KZN kuba qawla. It's wonderful, right?
I'm sure in the podcast like the podcasting I'm calling my kids This is the whole television show.
It's beautiful, eh? It's Pelana Umuhle, so it's a compliment. But also joining us, our way, right?
Okay.
We also bring the music scene of KZN right here with us. A man who's done exceptionally well for KZN music, entertainment, and everything in between. He is the star of KZN, you know what I mean? Mengeko, and there's no December, you feel it. You feel it. It's a December, Tira. I'd like to welcome now onto the podcast our very own DJ Tira Kati. I'm Thank you again. So it's such an honor to have everyone here joining us in Namhlanje. I want you to relax. It's just a conversation, okay? As long as you don't say anything that's going to make people feel like they're not the target market.
I think you need a teacher just like target market.
Then you're going to be absolutely fine. But I want to know, like, first of all, a bit of your background, where you come from. I know we've got majority from KZN, but let me start with Mr. Limpopo himself. Tell us a bit about yourself, Gladwin.
No, originally I'm from Limpopo in Guyana. Yeah, I was raised in Limpopo, and then I moved to Joburg at the age of 15. But I'm still a Guyana boy. Yeah. So I started playing football from the age of 8, under 10, under 12. Yeah. So football has been my thing.
I don't think you still qualify as a Limpopo person, though. You've been here for so long, you might as well. You might as well be a KZN person.
You don't want me to speak in Zulu.
Try.
If you can hear my Zulu, hey.
Is it bad?
Yeah.
It's a shine matu. Never mind. No, we know. I mean, you're the captain. You've been here for so long, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about yourself.
For me, ngumfana wasemakhaya, like deep KZN. Ngwavuma, it's closer to Swaziland. So, it's a bit of Umzulu and Bubu Mswati. I grew up in a family, typical family, mom and dad. Bonke, they're strict. Football is not their thing. You just focus on school and then the rest will come after. Grew up, but my dad was a super fan netballer. Grew into football because it's like every weekend everyone has to watch. So that happened for me. That's how ngaqala ukuthanda ibhola, because my dad was a super Kaizer Chiefs fan at the time, and at the time Chiefs was winning and everything was alright. So
Wow.
So in a way bakuthatha bakufaka kulokho ukuthi na ugcina uthanda ibhola, baza bakukhethele bona i-role model yabo abafuna ukuthi amukhulu ugcina ufane nabo. I grew up, I went to varsity, came to Durban, yonke into yami, went to school, ngahlanganisa lapho nalapho, but yeah.
Oh, that's just a nice background. Usuka le kude manguze, my goodness.
Kungakithi ungabe suthi kude kakhulu.
Hayi ngigibela amabhasi namabhasi ukuze nifike la. And Sifiso, tell us a bit about yourself.
Sanibonani, mina nguSifiso kaMlungwana. Oqhamuka le mangozo emhlaba yalingana. Angisuka khona next to Mozambique. It's 15-minute drive ngene Mozambique. Bagibele emisila ngidrive ngekhaya soficana phambili yabo. So ngikhule ngumfana okhulisa ugogo. Family of 9 girls, mina ngedwa umfana ekhaya. Yabo. So ngumuntu wesonto ngisheshe ngakhula ngabe indoda because mukufuneka amadoda endaweni ekhaya kwakuthunyelwa mthi ayihamba yozwa lapha emadodeni uthi kuthiwani yabo. So ngiphule ngomuntu onjalo behamba isonto kakhulu. Ibhola kwangani into yami, bathi bengilidlala ngabe striker ngayeka. And then I came to university and then I played rugby. I was playing rugby before ngingene ebholeni professionally ngingene 2019. Kodwa kuqala kudlala is 2017-18. Yeah. So and then I became a goalkeeper. Mangifica university ngafica enye indoda nami nje yathi ayi wena I see something when ekuthiwa Coach Manqoba Mngqithi. So and then football kwaba into yami kanjalo, and then njengoba sengela went to university because emakhaya ke awuvela usuke kuthiwa wena uyodlala ibhola, cha ekhaya nje kuthiwa hamba esikoleni okunye uzokubona emva kwesikole. So yeah, into kanjalo.
And you went to the Inspiring Greatness one, eh?
Yeah.
All right, and now it's over to the coach himself, CAF winning coach, Mnqoba Mngqithi. Give us a bit about yourself, a bit of background.
Do you really want my background?
Yes, but I know it's long, just a short bit, a little bit.
At 53, if I were to give you everything, so
Kancane.
but ngumfana wasemzimkhulu emakhaya. Abantu basemalokishini bathi kusemfana. I grew up there, played football, never managed to get to professional. Went to university, and from university, I was fortunate to become the youngest teacher in the school when I decided to become a teacher. The school that I was in, I was the youngest, and I said because I was still playing, I might as well coach. And I think those people were very good to me because I did not know this would end up being a career. I was not even aware that there is a career in coaching at that time. I did this thing and I was very successful. From school football, I went all the way up until the national team for the schools. Then one good Samaritan Tabo took me to join Maritzburg City as an assistant coach in the ABC secondary. And from there, everything just favored me. In that first year, I managed to get promoted to NFG. Then from there, it's a very long history. But to cut it short, from Maritzburg City, I was seen by another group of brothers, Bawa Shongo for Umoja United, and from there, I went to Wembley's Juventus, University of Notre Dame. It's a long history. And from there, University of Natal, because I came to save them from relegation in the same ABC Super League after having promoted both Moja and Lesotho. And I was fortunate because the brother of Sismatoro Kimata, the owner of this club, identified me because I was fortunate to play a lot of friendlies with Arrows in trying to build the University of Natal. And we did very well up to a point where we started beating Arrows. Then we said, maybe this is the guy that must come and join Arrows. Then I came in as an assistant to Cabo Zondo. Then from there, 3 years later, I was the head coach of the club. 3 years later, we won the MTN8. And everything just started to blossom from there. But I'm still very grateful for what this club did for me, because it was very difficult. I remember when I became the head coach of this club, it was after 15 matches. The club only had 12 points after 15 matches, and we were sitting at the bottom of the league, and I had never coached in the PSL at that time. But Rocky said, no, I trust you, you are the one who will help us to come out. I will support you with anything I can. And everybody else said, no, but he has never coached. They supported me both with Rocky, Sismato. And with God's grace, I managed to save a team that everybody thought they were going down, because we had lost so many matches with 4-5, 4-5. And when they gave it to me, it was a very sticky banana skin. But with God's grace, we managed to save it. 3 years later, that team became the champions of the continent. From there, I had stints at Amazulu, at Chipa, at Arrows again. Then I left for Sunrise.
Wow, that's a beautiful history. And you never know, Twala amanzi age amakona. And you mentioned University of Natal. I couldn't graduate about professional soccer players. He's not professional, but I know you played football, right, Tira? So take us through a little bit about Mpanwa Gahlabi singanya epic game, madoda.
Hey, yabona. Sanibonani. Thokozikhathi aka DJ Tira. Ngiyabona ukuthi ngihlezi nabantu bangakithi yazi bafuma hlabisa yabona nje sonke siweluthukela yabo uma weluthukela nje wazi ukuthi wangale phela siyahlukana khumuka kusuka eNatal ngokwazi which is nami ngikhule kahlabisa. I think bengine energy nje ngoba inkomo bezingeke ekhaya but bengiyithola sengiluse inkomo zabamakhelwane vele ukukhuthala ngizalwe nakho ngoba nje bengithanda nje ukuthi yazi ngifuna ukubona inkomo ediphini ihambisambisa inkomo ediphini nje yabo umfana nje active nje idlalela ibhola nje yona into ibikhona ngikathi sakhula and then ngaya high school which is qale Bhekuzulu phela eMlokotho. I was playing soccer, dlala nabadabuka abantu bangaphandle outside I-12 ngamaborder eMlokotho, so abantu bangaphandle ubizwa ngamadabu, so dlala naba strong ke but I was one of the players, one of the assembles nje ngathiwa ngiye lapha kuthiwa udlale kahle namhlanje home pump scores. So I was like, okay, soccer player.
Yeah.
And when I get to University of Natal, that's when I also Nqubeko naleli bhola league yabo. That was 1995 yabo. Nqubeko naleli bhola yabo. Ayanda bayele bhola leli bethu. Abantu bafuna ukujabula. Awuthi ke ngifunde lento le yok DJ, ngafunda lento yok DJ in 1996. Then I was doing my diploma, like university in University of Natal. I was doing my degree, Bachelor of Social Science. Ngalana nge-sound system, yaphuma ngo-DJ, so I was balancing. Managed in 2021, I finished the school, and then I get Zakala from there. That's I bazali senginikezile i-degree yenu. I
and here you are.
Then here I am.
Effective and
yes.
You are him.
Yeah.
All right, now the rose amongst the thorns. Our very own Mpemba. Tell us a bit about yourself, Miss Comedian Extraordinaire.
Abasebeshilo wena abantu ngwasemakhaya. Angazi nokuthi kude kwani kwasempangeni seduze kawo kahle. That's just it. Shilo bathi kude. No. Yeah, so ngizalelwe empangeni ekhasi lawo 8, I was number 6. Funny enough, I thought ngizoba musician ngoba bene band. Ngithola kodwa manje bayithetha too much ngathi lo ngizothetha ngama notes. Ngale ngazenza into engayazi yonke lento. So that's why I'm forever with these ones music because I grew up in a very musical family but very artistic as well. But about siblings I'm now 8 ngoba number 6 bonke bayawongesta. Siswaba umuntu odala unipharmacist akazi ukwenza mina ngathelo ngifundele biblical studies izothinta. Well, I learned that you're not flagship. So now I went to the Tech in the 90s, I think 97, 96, somewhere then. Then I did entertainment technology, which was lighting, sound. Funny enough, I also thought I would be one of these guys. And I also worked as a stage manager, Grahamstown. As a student after Grahamstown, I worked at Kia House, rigging stages, and all of that. Yeah, but to the next planet. So and then comedy came through because someone was told me to take on a poster, blah blah blah, and I just watched kids of comedy from overseas. That's okay. So then I started comedy in 2005. Actually, this year is 20 years of comedy.
Wow.
Yeah. And of course, the rest is history.
Wow, that's a beautiful story.
Yeah.
20 years. So everyone has introduced themselves. We're comfortable. We're going to have KZN-based conversations.
Yes.
And I want all of you to just relax and just share your thoughts and your views because this entire thing is about KZN, our culture, who we are. There's a lot of learning. Young people look up to each and every one of you. And we want to hear our thoughts. And there's one thing that all of you touched on, almost all of you touched on, family.
Yeah.
You know, family, my family, this. I know, we're all big on family, all big on religion in our family. Now, in KZN, culture, religion, very big. Is there a way that they come together, or do you feel like Mawin isn't a religion is a culture?
Well, for me, I'd say I feel like spirituality is vast. That's, as far as I can understand. Luckily, I'm very political and African believe. So somehow when you view it in a political way. And I believe that religion, whatever religion, and culture is very important. If most people in South Africa, and I'm not saying anything about other tribes and cultures, I am a Zulu, but most people, I wish they can love themselves like Zulus love themselves. Because we are notorious about anything, but mostly it's based on the fact that we are brought up in that culture. And culture and you can do both, is what I'm trying to get at. You can do both because God brought us to the universe, whatever you believe in. And then culture is what it's custom. It's not really, it doesn't speak to your soul.
Yeah.
It speaks to the things that you must do to inculcate the living spaces so that you can So for me, I feel like Gokbili, it can work and Gokbili works because most people do it very bold. But I feel like and also I think when we think about our culture, we immediately think of dark stuff. We don't think as our culture is things that help us in our spiritual growth and in our lives. And I believe we can do both.
Gladwin, I know you're very religious, very, very religious. And this is what the team has come to know you for. Do you practice a bit of culture or are you just like...
Not at all. I don't
just
practice
religious?
Culture. Yeah, just
okay.
religious.
Why?
That's how I was raised.
Okay.
Yeah. Sunday, Sunday is school. If I don't want to go. So that's how I was raised. Yeah.
So you're not paying lobolas?
We do.
Oh, okay. I was thinking like nothing.
I think what Celeste is asking is largely based on the fact that people who practice just religion, lobola ngoda is always there most of the time. So that's where people end up confused. Why do you choose only lobola and you exclude everything else? What the lobola? Why? Coach, is there anything that you would know? I know you're a very cultural person when it comes to these things. We are conga here and there. So when it comes to this particular topic, and what Gladwin is saying in terms of religion, and we lobola, Celeste has already asked, why lobola? Why not every other thing that has to do with culture?
Yeah, this topic of culture is very broad. Because I also want to believe the way you do things is how you are cultured to do things.
Okay.
So sometimes when we think of culture, we forget that maybe habits themselves, because by definition, habit is what you repeatedly do, which you ultimately become. Because you have done this thing now and again, and ultimately it becomes a culture. But because I think I fell in that trap at a certain point in my life because of what Gladwin says, of wanting to remove myself from cultural stuffs and focus on what maybe the Bible and because even the Bible itself does have culture inside. If you look at the Old Testament and you look at the New Testament, when Abraham went to the mountain and he was given that sheep, what was it for? If it was not for the cultural stuff that had to happen for him to ultimately get what he wanted to get. So to a certain extent, personally, I think culture, traditions, habits are all intertwined because it's very easy to say I don't practice cultural stuff, but in essence you are doing them regularly every day because it becomes your culture to pray every time before you leave. It becomes your culture to pray whenever before the match starts, and that can never be separated from who you are. And personally, being but Amabata are the Zulus that left and seek refuge. That's why I go to Amabata, is to seek refuge. Because the environment was becoming toxic. They wanted to have their own freedom with King Matsigane, Kazu, because King Matsigane is also coming from the Zulu kingdom. So,
that history.
Yeah?
I didn't know that history. Very interesting.
So, if you check the history of Matsigane, you will know what they were always at loggerheads with China. Because Matsigane was also very powerful. But it's a story that I will share when I've got time for it.
No, you
so
should.
Personally, I believe as black people, it's very important to believe in whatever you want to believe, that things that makes you feel better. Because I've also realized that your belief system becomes what we never had when we were young. We did not know there's psychologists and all that. But whatever we believed in is the one that psyched us to be proper. Because if you talk to a Zulu person, he will say, "Maseng Shisempepo, I feel okay. I think into Zamzoba right."
Yeah.
He did not need somebody to bring tissues because that's what psychologists do. The first thing they bring when you meet them, they bring a box of tissues because they know they are going to ask you a lot of questions up until you cry.
Yeah.
So after crying, you also feel good. Naturally, after crying, you feel good. Even if there was a bereavement, Once you talk about something and you cry over something, then after that you feel good and you say, hey, this psychologist works. Because the questions that he asked, maybe they were thought-provoking and they dug deeper into your dark side and everything came out up until you cried.
Yeah.
So for me, culture is my base. It's fundamental for me because I do believe it helps in a number of ways. To have a base that you can always go back to whenever things are the world that we are living in is contaminated with a whole lot of things. So sometimes you need to have your own sacred space where you can sit back and know you are with your people. And maybe get that inspiration that makes you believe I'm ready to face the world again. So for me, I don't see any difference.
Interesting. Mnqoba Bearings, thank you so much, Coach. Mnqoba, I hear that for the first time this, okay, it's a crossover, so it's this year, I can say this year. At 12 o'clock, we usually do Susushwane stage with Fact Devon Rocks. But this year you decided that you're going to pray. So that forms part of what we're talking about, your religious beliefs, and why did you do that? What changed that you hadn't been doing every other year?
I mean, I was totally mthandazweni. I was totally sikhuluma nabaphathi. Uzosithola sikhuluma nabaphathi, uzosithola sihlaba, uzosithola sesoteni ngoba i-protection zidinga from yonke indawo yabo. So you don't know ukuthi ngempela ubani ugadile whether ugade ithonga lakini noma uNkulunkulu nawe yabo. But yes, I do believe ukuthi uNkulunkulu uyalalela masikhuluma yabo. So nawe uyijwayeze nje ukuthi ukhulume noNkulunkulu yabo. So like 2024 was a very tough year for me yabo. So I was like, wow, like even abafundisi bebengitshela ukuthi ngeke ngizobona 2025 yabo. Yabo. So for the mere fact ukuthi we're crossing over to a new year, and I was like, oh God, I made it. Yeah, but I was like just being thankful about that everything that I went through. Yeah, but I'm still here and I'm still living and I'm still in right. Yeah, but so otherwise, culture which is very, very important. Tina, yeah, even though I practice, so but ngiyazi ukuthi into ekufanele ngiyenze. I do communicate nabantu bakithi abadala yabo, but ngiyabona ukuthi mangibuka nje ngiyabona ukuthi ikhona igap ekhona yabo. Mhlambe there is not too much pressure ekhaya vele ukuthi kwenziwe in yabo, but komuntu ekhula, umuntu eshada, umuntu ezenjani, kwenziwa zonke izinto ezenziwayo, but ikhona yona igap amasolisi umuntu angawakhuphula yabo, but nje ushithi umthandazo wona uhamba phambili kakhulu.
Very interesting from Mnqoba, and I know Mnqoba has a question for abadlali bebhola. So I'm going to let Nqubeko and Sifiso take this one. Over to you, host.
I've always wanted to know my face. Umuthi ngiyasiphatisa
But maybe they're not allowed to answer that because remember that would be a club's thing if a club does that. I don't know if
maybe they can just speak under general.
Under generally speaking, okay, guys. Generally
speaking from the experience.
For me, I think it doesn't work. Okay, mina ngomuntu wasemakhaya obviously lezi zinto lezi esikhuluma ngazo into yomuthi nani iningi ngale ngakithi, meaning ngale ngakithi nangawasifisa umhlaba yalingana. So people banalo nto leyo perception ukuthi it does work, but it can't work if you don't have the players. So it's more or less like into a confidence. That's how I see it. It's more or less into a confidence. You would say, but it only works if I don't know whether it makes any sense. You can't have Umuti and not have the players. It means Umuti 7. But low Mutu, low 7s if you have the good players. It means the good players are doing the job. That's how I see it.
But then wait, is it not really more about Umuti working against the other team than it is for your own team?
Africa would have won the World Cup.
Let's close, drop the mic. Put his style. What's the point?
But the ones that must make you prosper, like win a football match, like Nqubeko was saying. If you don't have the right players, you might not get there. But there are countries in Africa that had the right players. You know, the old Nigeria of Ashanti Yakini, Amunike, Amukachi, JJ Okocha, Samson Siasia, Finidi George, and all the Nigerian Nyangas there in the bush, because surely they supported Nigeria. Couldn't they make them win?
The World Cup, ne? But
And
what if Argentina, Mnqithi, Lionel Messi? Anyways, please, let me give you a chance.
Yazi wathinta enye ipoint. Yabo mina ngisuke emhlabeni ngani, yabo. So into zomuthi into ekhona if you believe kuyona, into engekho ungakholelwa kuyona. So sometimes njengoba sikhuluma ngeculture ne-religion, uyafika ethimini kuyi-culture yethimi ukuthi kusetshenziswa umuthi la, but mina I don't believe kona. Ngiyakholelwa nje ukuthi khona uNkulunkulu ngithandaza. So which means if oyi-one angabhiliveli kule nto ngekusebenza. You see, that's the thing eyenzakalayo ukuthi it's a culture, environment leyo, culture yayo ukuthi kusetshenziswa umuthi lapho. Uyabo. Nangapha emakhaya kusho ukuthi ngoba phela sinama-million ukuba because bayakwazi ukushintsha imali ube no-100 million manje. But leyo nto idinga a certain spirit. Yabo, ingakho manje abantu sebayiveza lento yokuthwala ngisho bethwele, bayiveze nje ukuthi umuntu uthwele. Umuthi one spirit phakathi okwenza ukuthi ukwazi ukudlula la uyengale because so hamba no something. But ngeke ungitshela ukuthi uzothatha impande yodwa udlule sizokubamba la. You see, so it's a belief wena ukuthi mina mengithatha lento ngisho ama-China abeka istage athi I believe ukuthi lento le izongenza nguthola umsebenzi athandaze kuyona. Yabo, it's a belief kuwena ngaphakathi. Umuthi it goes with i-culture yakho ne-belief yakho yangaphakathi ukuthi leyo nto leyo wena you are believela kuyona. Njengoba ukhotshesha ngoba phela ama-World Cup now e-Africa mo ukuthi umuthi because kuthiwa Nigeria kuphi nakuphi umuthi banawo nzima, but we don't have that thing. You see, yeah, but asinayo leyo nto leyo yokuthini abelungu they don't believe ukuthi ikhona leyo. That's why ingasebenza against them. Yebo, thina sabantu abamnyama believe ukuthi nendoda kuthiwa inomuthi general vele kwi-system yakho sekungenile ukuthi usuyamsaba lo muntu ungakazi noma lento yakhe yasebenza noma yasebenza vele ama-nerves akho saphazamisekile. So nenhloso yakho ne-vision yakho adwizelela izophazamiseka, usuzofocuseka ukuthi noma kuthiwa uyaligeja lipho ukuthi hayi vele umuthi wala abantu psychological sulimele vele akuthi uyayibona iphazamisa ingqondo nje kuphela, hayi ukuthi into ekhona into engekho ikhona ebholeni thina ngentshintshisi. Yeah, ngisho ukuthi in football I know lokho ke
problem bangasort out ngezulu quickly.
Siyakwazi hayi emakhaya siyazi vele ukuthi uyayeka yabo ilento ngisho ukuthi umuthi okhona ukuthi uyayiphazamisa impilo yomuntu, ungabekela into weqa zibe ngake inyawo manje asala ufuna ukuya khona ngithi yabo ukhona umuthi kodwa ozophazamisa impilo yomuntu. Yabo, into ekhona leyo ukuthi sokubekela into ethize la weqe phelile ngawo. So thatha impahla yakho we do something kuyona phelile ngawo into kanjalo.
Ngihlekisa indlela uSifiso asho ngayo boqale wayilungisa athi yabo mina phese ngokamhlabeni
awona bafana kulapha dala ukuthi bekwathi ubwaka bathi mina ngisaba ngathi fethe ngaba ke
Eyiwa. Sikhuleke wona so siyayazi ayisithusi noma ungathi bayifaka egroundini hayi.
But it doesn't work on
Ayisebenza ayisithusi ngoba sikhule kwi-environment enjalo.
ayisebenzi kodwa ngoba ethelute nje ubusho nawe uthi udela amaqakala ngoba ufake mina egroundini
Uyayibona.
bangibuka kabili wathi obona ngibuka uthi ukhuluma ngani manje so I could never try.
Yeah, you won't try. So anyways, we're still talking about KZN and a lot of things that we do that are proudly KZN. Sometimes they're not even proud, but they are KZN. And we all Gladwin touched on something that has to do with ilobola and so forth. And it's taking me back to ukubaleka komshado in KZN. I see a lot of soccer players. Scandals of my soccer players, it's either alcohol or it's going to be abantu besifazane, you know. But then we have abona abanye bayiqoqa and try to get married, you know. Umshado, what does it mean to asale nganje? Singadluli go Tira.
Soccer players.
As soccer players, what does marriage mean to you? Because it can be umshado wasekhaya ukuthi abazali bami bashadile bashadanga, or it can be you ukuthi mangibuka mina I want to get married one day.
Mina vele, growing up, I saw my dad, I saw my mom, I've been looking up to them, the way my mother takes care of my dad. I wanted it also. So as a footballer, it helps you to focus on your work. You forget about other things. So you focus and you know you have a wife at home, she takes care of you, you have that support. Kumuntu yuani, like it gives you that focus. It helps you in a way.
But quickly, Gladwin, before I let you go, ilento yomshado in Limpopo and KZN is the feelings and the behavior around it the same as here?
Yeah, it is the same. Okay. It's one thing. Marriage is marriage. Yeah, so it's one thing. It's about love. So I don't see any difference.
Is it still about love, Nqubeko?
I mean, I'm sorry, but I beg to differ. I don't know. I think it's all because of society, how society is now, how society sees life or perceived in being. I think the way our fathers were before is not the way things are now. Yeah. Talking about footballers, I've seen so many of my brothers fall because of one sort. Abantu umshado, abantu besifazane, whatever. And lonto leyo, as an outsider, umuntu oseceleni into engenze kuwe, you can only watch and learn and take whatever you can take from there. Njengoba ngisho ukuthi abafethu abaningi they've gone through leyo nto leyo ukuthi ushadile nomuntu for years and years and years. They think bayamazi lo muntu loyo whatsoever. After certain years, you hear stories on the news ukuthi so and so broke up with his wife. The wife took everything with nani ingane. He's bankrupt because of a certain person wayethu uyamthanda at the time wacommit impilo yakhe kuyena kanti it wasn't genuine. So for me, imishado yamanje has just changed. It's not genuine anymore. It's not from inhliziyo ukuthi this person ngiyamthanda ngayo yonke into ngizomthobela. Because there's a friend of mine who once said ukuthi if ufuna unkosikazi isikhathi samanje, you get someone you don't get umuntu okuthandayo, but you get umuntu ozomthobela. I don't know whether I think there's a difference between the two. Ukuthi uzomthobela ekuhloniphe, because you can't base it solely on love. Ukuthi I'm going to marry this person because uyangithanda. But uzomthobela. That's why imishado yomawethu nobaba bethu could last longer, because it wasn't only love. It wasn't only love, but kwakhona leyo nhlonipho nokuthobela ukuthi ubaba ungaye egoli osebenza for years and years, but uma uzohleze khona ekhaya amekhona ekhaya ubaba uyamthanda yamhlonipha yamthobela she won't go anywhere. But manje isikhathini samanje I don't know, maybe khona into esiyenzile wrong siso yathi angazi ubaba bamanje whatsoever khona into wrong eyenzakalayo, because ayisekho lonto ekhona kuqala ukuthi umshado uyawuhlonipha angazi ukuthi siyaphuma kusuku lwethu siyabantu abamnyama.
Yeah. Do you think money had something to do with that? Ngicela ukuza kuwena nje coach before ngiyeza Sifiso. Do you think money had a lot to do with what Mo was saying. Now people are getting married more as an exchange than it is for the reasons that we saw in the past.
I always have a very different view when it comes to this issue of marriage. Because ngiyamuzwa naye uthi uma umuntu wesilisa ushade nomuntu ngoba ucabanga ukuthi uyakuthanda. For me, one, as men, when we get married, usually, according to Stephen Covey, would be beginning with an end in mind.
Okay.
Would be marrying because I'm thinking, hey, my parents are old. What will happen when my parents die? What will happen in my family, my household, and everything? Then, out of that fear, we start looking for people. And when we look for people with that in mind, it's completely different than looking for people because they say they love us. It's just a topic that I was discussing this weekend somewhere, where I say men get married usually out of the fear of the unknown. What will happen if I get sick? What will happen if my family, I lose my mother, my father, and everything? Who will take care of everything? Who can build the household? That is why even in the Bible, women are not expected to be making this noise of I love you and what. It's not their responsibility. It's our responsibility to love women. And in our choice, we should prioritize what we think will happen with those people that we choose. Because for a woman to get to Thandolwendo, or Pele, or Ngelama issues, a woman must do what she was brought here for, which is to make sure that my household does not die. I went there with a funeral, and my wife sees it fit to die. He's so that she should be the one not I must get it. Because I brought her for those reasons to make sure that she is a true representation of me in my family, even when I'm not there. Because as a man, I might be working, I might be everywhere else. So I'm getting a responsibility to make sure that there is food at home. Yeah, I know the responsibility to make sure that the dignity and the respect that our household gets from the society and the people around is there. And now you see a lot of men are attending functions at home, they are leaving wives behind. And it's not supposed to be like that. And when a woman wants a man to love her, must be the one who's khuthalele. Because as a woman, all you're expected is to submit and be led properly. Yes, not my daughter, sometimes you don't lead properly. But it's our responsibility to lead. It's their responsibility to submit. And through their submission, they will get buckets and buckets and buckets of love from a man. And that is the most important thing. Because a man, omhloniphayo, omthobelayo, owenza zonke izinto wakuletha. Then I've got a good example of a wife that I brought to my household because I could see my parents were getting old, and I loved my parents with everything I have. So I wanted to make sure that even when I'm not around, everything will be done for them. Taking care of them, even when they were sick. My wife had to take care of my father and my mother. My mother was amputated at some point, and my wife was the one taking care of my mother. And that, for me, is what I wanted from a wife. And then, in return, I give myself and say, I will make sure that this family, because sometimes it's difficult for a man to even go and support the wife's family. But when your wife does so much for your family, you start thinking back and say, I can't be selfish here. Those people can't be starving and I'm okay. Then you start extending yourself even more to their kids in that side, taking them to school and making sure that life goes on because of the gratitude you are getting from the woman. But the woman that is going to be buying you flowers, ironing your shirts, making sure the laundry is sorted and what, but is not taking care of my family, is not good enough for me. Because for me, I expect to be represented by that woman at home whenever there is something that needs her. We can't expect other women of other men to be doing things at home and my wife is not. And that's me. But you guys, you generation of today, you are the one that are also not straightforward. Because you are the one that gossips about your brothers, about your parents, about everyone, and your wife starts now to choose sides and say, no, because the information comes from you. If you did not tell your wife that there is a feud between these families, you know, there, you must not take my kids there, you must not do that. She must learn because she's part of the family and understand that she has to submit and be led by you. And that's how I view marriages. But nowadays, this one buys you flowers, then the next thing, the whole money is gone into your account because you are stupid.
Very interesting and very wise points that you've raised there, Coach. But I want to go back to Sifiso. There's an important thing, issue, Coach La, but it goes back to your choice of women, as he says. And as footballers, you're known for going for slay queens. That's your taste in women, you know. Maybe light in complexion, even this and that. Why is that the thing when looking for wives or girlfriends when it comes to footballers?
Hayi mhlambe bona ngazi. Ngazi bona. Yabo. So no, that's when it's come to umshado. Khona ne point ucoach nje alishilo kade ngifuna ukulesha. Yazi esikhathini samanje that's why mhlambe imishado eminingi ingalast nana. Abazibheki abantu ukuthi ba ready ukuba emshadweni hayi usuku lomshado ukuba emshadweni yabona ukuba emshadweni enye into kungale singaba receive na imali usingashada sithandanile for 7 years ni ready na because it comes with responsibilities. Yeah, it comes with huge responsibilities ukuba emshadweni mo indoda you need to lead this house yabona when uyikhanda nkosikazi winoko yabo. So when you need to lead this, you need to be a role model like I. So that umshado wala ekhaya uzoba muhle. Into ade show coach ukuthi umuntu wesifazane mina ngikhona abantu besifazane. Umuntu wesifazane anginandaba mina noma ngangitshela ukuthi I love you. Ngoba bengeke ngiqoma ngangithandi. Yabo. Ngiyazi ukuthi njoba ekhethe mina kulamadoda amangaka uthanda mina. So mina ngimnika uthando. Yena ukungihlonipha endlini kube naleyo nto ukuthi sibambisene. Ukubambisana, that's why meningabambisena ungamshada umuntu nibe nema in part meningabambisene nizoxamana into encane ukuthi wena olanda ingane esikoleni but ngibe ne training mina mhlambe ezophuma u4 ngithi ngicela ulanda ingane athi kumele ngiclean la endlini ngibe ngilanda ingane. You've never shared leyo nto but menibambisene you know ukuthi okay umyeni wami ubusy manje okay awuthi ngithatha ingane and then come back. Ngizoqhubeka nama responsibility ami alendlini nazo zonke izinto kumele ngizenze. So it's those small things, it's those small details abangawanaki bakhohle ukuthi there is this honeymoon phase in love. Yabo une honeymoon phase mina thandana nje kube mnandi yonke into ngitolerate izinto uzofika isikhathi la ungeke usakwazi ukuthi khona into ngeke uyitolerate but you need to adjust yourself yona emshadweni kuyinto ekanjalo. So uma ukuthi awusakwazi uadjusta ukutolerate ukuthi ubuya ngo7 qala lapha inkinga yabo. So kumele nibambisane nibe into eyodwa and then ke senizokwazi ukushada. So ngeke uthathe umuntu uyoshada umuntu ongena inhlonipho ombona ukuthi mengifika naye ekhaya uzodela abantu basekhaya. Mayedela abantu basekhaya shuthi wena usudelelekile emndenini uyayibona leyo. So you need to respect each other ku relationship. Inqumo zenu enizithathayo ube ukuthi nibambisene ngazo ungayivumeli into yabona muzolala namhlanje ulale futhi ulale nento wazi ukuthi ayikuphathanga kahle lapha then after a month noxabana futhi kuzovuka nalolu laka lalelo lwasuku lolwa and then kube speech. So we need to put in bamisa la ube wrong. Okay, uvume mone phutha lakho. Phutha lami ngiyavuma ngiyaxolisa. You need to be honest. Mina ufuna ukuya emshadweni kahle. Nibe neqiniso noma kuthiwa kubhlungu kanjani, but you need to uba niba honest. Makukhona one oleka lapho. Yeke usekwenzeka.
Yeah, ne. Ifuna uyivala with veteran la emshadweni. Unobuza ku Celeste, because you grew up in a family, you had your mom, your dad, beshadile, but you are very busy and izinto ezichazwa la ngiyazizwe ngasihamba kulayini wakho nje ngoba uCeleste hayi busy.
I think the society has taken it as a normal thing, just to say, yeah, you must, and all the points are valid, and bonke abantu besilisa bakhuliswe ngokwazi ukuthi kumele nibe nalo muntu wesifazane ozonisupport. But we haven't visited ukuthi even that on its own to say lo muntu wesifazane ozonisupport, I'm giving you my life. And isikhathi esiningi abantu besifazane ababengenayo opportunity. Mina, I'm one of those women that are thriving on the opportunity that most women didn't have. So I'm not saying umshado ubaleka ngibalekile, but angaze ngidalwe ngibeke kwi-position yokuthi I will support someone, but I cannot, I'm not scheduled in my life to say I can just support someone completely, give it behind, because I was born and into yokuqala ngayazi ukuthi I must find my purpose and my dream, and that's always been my drive. I've never not thought of what I need to do in this life. Yes, I know you are doing the same thing. There's not an excuse, but the work that I'm doing and how I'm doing it, I haven't, angaze ngayibona nje ngine space sokuthi ngizokusupport, but hayi khona le edinga la ukuthi ama-parents bafike la. Akudlali uba umfazi kama-parents. You know, I said something this one time, Sinoskhumba, because we had a shows after shows after shows. That maybe we didn't sleep at home for almost a month. And Skhumba, yazi mfethu, into esihlale ngibhizi ngayo. Even in back, I'm saying, share it back in Tatang. And I was like, you see, right there, you didn't even think. But organize the whole bag. I don't have that. And sometimes, and then all of a sudden, it makes you less of a woman. I think what makes marriages and relationships difficult these days, unfortunately, by few, and it's honest, and that's why most women then therefore will go harder when they divorce and take everything, because they didn't like to be your supporter. And sometimes most men believe that automatically just because you're a man you need to be supported. Half of you, unfortunately, can't even figure your lives together. So there's not so many women who are just going to wait and say, I'm just going to support you. They supported you because you had a vision. They supported you because you had a vision. Half of the men don't have that vision. And now I cannot lessen my dream and my purpose waiting for you to find your vision out of respect. Nifuna kakhulu respect without respecting your lives. Unfortunately, that's what we're dealing with. Baba bethu babekwazi ukuthi uzohamba eGoli kodwa uzophinda buye. Manje udirect kakhona umghosto khona akakhulumi ke kuloku usupporta lo mhlawumbe. That's why the reason why, because men are like, yeah, but ngiyakwazi ukuhlonipha abelungu emsebenzini, angikwazi ukuhlonipha thina. You know why ngikwazi ukuhlonipha ubulungu emsebenzini? Akayigeji man then. Ngisele yona. But when if you're not giving me anything else, then I'm just gonna take money. Then I'm gonna take money. Most women now, they will not speak like me. But umungaba broke, you will know your wife.
You'll see flames.
But let me be honest, because not everyone is just gonna support. Now that's why most now women are like, you know, mangi all of me. So because also what we don't understand, which makes it unfair for us as women, when we figure our lives together, because naturally, as in ding, and I'm not the only one. As Boregi, you can tell when a man is a bachelor. Minangi bachelor right, got a one ungafika nengane. Ang now umuze ngurana ngathi ngibachelor. I have a structure, I have routine, I have everything else that umuntu nengane has. Angilanda umndeni ngivula umndeni wala kuthi akunamplantini. But most of the time, men don't have that. You need to have someone to have that. Now, think of this. Now, if I have my work, my purpose, and the profit, Phese nempahla enkulu manje kusho ukuthi angizokuvele ngivele ngithethe yonke lento noma kanjani. Give me more. All I'm saying is your generation is going to grapple with the difference that what is not spoken about when you talk about the women that mawethu nokhokho bethu bakwenza nikhuluma kamnandi in layman terms. You don't dig deeper to their feelings. You're like I want support or wambuzo to feel kanjani. Because we only assume this person can just show up. Now, what you're missing out is that our generation had that conversations with our mothers that told us that the society wouldn't allow us. We come from women who were like very scared or maybe divorce Manje, I don't know divorce parts because people are like, hey, so we are dealing with different people and different. It's not like women have become wrong. This is an opportunity, you're peeling fully that our mothers didn't live. They didn't say it, but they were wrong.
I hear so much of everything that you're saying. The one thing I'm not going to agree on is we don't need men.
No, I never said that. Did I say that in all of this? Forget. Never. All I said was we are different. We need them in a different way than we need it. We need each other.
No, that's understandable.
That's what I'm saying. We need each other in a different way.
Yeah.
We're not going to change. I never taught you 1957 model of marriage to 525. Are you serious? I never said for no 25. That's why they survived. Oh my God, 50 years, 60 years. Half of the time it was never because of love. It was a political reason. So some marriages survived because of political reasons, economic reasons, cause social reasons, nothing to do with
and that favored men is what you're saying. And nowadays we've got options.
Thank you.
And we need men, but we need men in
a different way, exactly.
Well,
and also
healed type
all of it.
way.
And also remember, we spoke earlier and you were like, hey, mina wangixa ukuhlala kuphi kuphi ngifuna ubase ekhaya.
Yeah.
I'm an explorer. I'm getting and that's what and also I'm gonna meet someone who's gonna meet me that halfway.
Yeah.
Women have had opportunities that most women have never had. So you're gonna deal with women that acknowledges those opportunities and understand that these are opportunities beyond umshado. So now we'll feel umshado. I'll shout to Mfaz and live this life. It's all I'm saying. Like I say
there was a Celeste, and I think you are right. The only thing that I'm not sure whether we are together on, because when I say I expect a woman to submit, to support, I do not say I want a woman to just sit at home and do nothing and play that role. Because maybe let me start from the support. You know, sometimes you don't even have to do things yourself as a wife, but you have a responsibility to make sure that this gets done. And it can be done by a housekeeper or what, but you are fully embedded in making sure that happens. Let me give you an example. I'm moving probably like you. I can't buy groceries for my parents. And probably you're also doing the same. Because now as my wife, you are also running your own stuff, but you can find a way to get things done. Because you've got that capacity. As women, you've got something that we don't have. You know, if you were with me, for instance, you will struggle because as a man, I don't have this thing of multitasking. You know, when I'm watching TV and I'm watching football, I'm making an example. Even if you can go past the TV naked, I might not see you. And when I would get offended, I would not. Because I'm that guy who focuses on one thing at a time. But women, naturally, I was with my phone, computer. If I'm on the phone, it's very easy that if I was going to Pavilion, I might get into N3 and go all the way and realize that, where am I going? It's natural with men not to be able to multitask. But and I was very happy to hear a young boy talking like this about the respect and the understanding, because that boils down to that. If as your husband, I don't respect you, because I'm giving you the money to run the household, I start thinking I'm everything here. And I start saying, no, that type of a man has no space in the modern society. Because in this day and age, you find that I may be paying for this, but you are paying for it. So now you must also tell me as well, remember, who makes this house look so beautiful? It's me. So one of them say, then because of the respect and the lack of understanding, we may not get along. But you'll find that I've got a wife that is busy, I'm busy, but things get done. Yeah. And if there is a bereavement, we know that as a wife, you have a responsibility. As a husband, if because that's where the most important thing is there. If I'm sharper this side, when it comes to me and my family, but when you are coming to report to me, and I know in your family you don't have brothers, and you are reliant on me to lead in that space. But when it goes to your family, hey, no, I'll tell Laban Bagin Babo. But when it comes to my family, I know you must be alone. But if there is mutual understanding, and I know my responsibilities, there is a problem in my in-laws, they need me. There is a problem at home, you know that they need you. And this thing becomes so easy sometimes. Yeah. But when as a man, you are too cautious of what must happen to your family, but you don't care about what happens to your wife's family. Those people might be suffering, and the solution is just within your fingertips. And you can solve these things easily, but because of your arrogance, maybe because of not wanting to be part of what is happening there, you think when you are doing good. And I always make this statement when I advise. And I say, in life, you must take care of everything that makes you happy. If your wife makes you happy, make sure that you take care of her. And everything that makes her happy. Because if you think you are going to make her happy, but the mother at home has no food, you have tried to make her happy, but you will not win this one, because he is not happy because her mother is not in a good space. The house is collapsing there, but when I was saying, no, not now, we've got cars, we've got houses, we've got this, we've got that, but I know at home things are not well. Yeah. But when that extension happens easily, if you as a woman, you submit and respect me and do what you have to do as a wife, if I'm, sorry to use this word, if I'm an escort, I want you to do what you have to do this side, but I don't want to do what I have to do on the other side.
Yeah. I feel like, Coach, you just explained what's going on, with that men have one focus thing as a coach. I feel like you just explained what's going on with Pep Guardiola at the moment. So, Makoya Bearings, you are married and have been married to Kuku for years and years and years. Now, the reason I want to tap into you, Kakul, is because you've been in the entertainment industry. You're exposed to clubs. You're exposed to alcohol, slay queens of all kinds of flavors, of sorts, of types. All of this is everything for the media to see. And your marriage has survived all of that. What have been the highs and lows for you when it comes to marriage and keeping it together in front of everyone looking at your marriage and waiting for a downfall?
What I would like to touch on first is that in the entertainment industry, we're talking about soccer. Abantu abawuthuli kunengwenye iningi ezigcwele la ayibolahlile izobamba and that's why ungasakwazi ukuyejimini ungasafocusile ungasenjani, but then at the same time it depends ngomuntu, yabo disciplined when ufocus wena, yabo right, yabo. But if ungekho discipline ufocus uzolokhu untanda la ungazi ukuthi wenzani ubamba uyeka, yabo, or udla ke kuze kube nini, yabo. So with all that is happening here, yabo, kuyadingakala ukuthi nje uthi calm down kancane, especially uma ufuna ijourney yakho ibe yinde, yabo. Calm down or relax, ubone ukuthi ngempela ufocus kuphi, because you can't focus everywhere. Your focus needs to be somewhere. At least i-focus mayikhona. Yabo njengoba ejele Celeste ukuthi ngiyasibana. Makhona umuntu ofuna ukungena la, funeka kwazi ukuthi ameshe lokho okwenzeka la. Yabo kunosisi bethu aba-right abayiphilelayo abanjani yabo and futhi ba-right ba-happy. Yabo so as men we also need to live up ukuthi ekuse mangifika ngiyindoda fanele kubonakala ukuthi ngempela ngifikile. Nayo Celeste ngikazi angikhuthamele kanje ebazi ukuthi any paycheck yakhe is double what mine like mine yabo. So kubalekile ukuthi mawindoda nawe wazi ukuthi ufocuse kuphi at least kuya eliminate izinto eziningi ezingakuthikamezeka kwi-journey yakho. Yabo ngoba vele usathane uhlale khonayo nani kufanele nibe strong ngeke nibambane yabo. Usathane uhlale khona yabo kufanele nani nibe strong nibambane and nawe as indoda yekhaya kufanele nawe ubone ukuthi hey uyabona ukuthi zingena ngawe every time. Ngena ngawe so wena uyathanda yini wena ukuthi uhleze ulethe indaba enjena yabo. So nawe kufanele ukuthi ushaye introspection ubuke ukuthi ngempela what can I do mina ke ukuthi ngikwazi ukuthi ngenze wonke umuntu la ekhaya be safe abe ngoba the more umuntu ebe safe la ekhaya the more nami ngiprogressa igrowth yami yabo ngoba manje makukuningi ngibusy igrowth nayo ibusy yabo. So but nje empethu uthando ke lubalekile yabo. Sometimes you feel like let me just close my eyes, love this person, do everything that this person wishes. Let me just hope to God that prakoti na uzongilalela angicabangele kube izinto zami ibe right. Yabo ileyo focus nje ne discipline nje leyo iyasiza nje leso.
And ukhula abazali bakho beshadile isikhathi nje because your parents are still alive, they're still together, bafundile futhi le entertainment azange by anticipate la when I'm sure they wanted you to be some doctor njengoba bakho nje and you went into the entertainment field. So when does that have an impact to know ukuthi abazali bami basekhaya bashadile and that's what I want for my kids?
Yeah, well the pressure yayikhona yabo kakhulu umuntu esafunda yabo because your parents wanted like ngifike University of Natal ngizoshaya medicine bengitshela ngoba Dr. Tira ngizonijova I first year wathi hey thini ndoda kafuna ishintsha amagitha ngoba forward ukhona otizama social science ngoba le doctorate ayitholakali le doctorate ayibonakali kuye nge-Bachelor of Social Science yabo like a human resource yabo. Discipline is important wenza lento ekufanele uyenze yabo kuya ngawa amandla akho mangana yabo impilweni mawubona ukuthi amandla awafiki lapha calculator yabo ubona ukuthi no man into engizokwazi ukuthi ngiphile ngayo ile yabo bese ke nje uhlezi ube no-forward ungavumi ukuthi uhlele yabo. So challenges has been there but you can imagine ukuthi isikole ngasiqeda ngo-99 nkathi ngiqeda isikole ne-career yami kwangazuthi take over because that's the year I won the competition yabo. And then I had to find myself, I had to do this and that, take care of Durban, grow Durban ngoba sibona ukuthi nalithi kungazuthi lona ezoliphilisa yabo. 2005 I then started my record company which is Afrotainment, then things started together yabo. And then in Mnqithi ngibona company yahlangana senginomuzi kanti mangithi ngikhuluma nalo sisi lekuthi asishade hayi ngihangive eThekwini right but yabo ngathi hayi ngiyakubamba ngala hayi kwasho ukuthi izobhimba ase ngibuyele emuva usasekhona kusi
ngilalela ngasengizona sakho noma singakholile kwathi hamba naso na wathi eceleni wahamba phambili wafika wabhatsha waphinda buyele emuva
kusho kodwa ngibona khona ukuthi empilweni yami ngoba manje yabo lapho isandla engikhule ngaso yabo ngikhule ngesandla yabo so elvovo yabo so big naso fisherman yabo besenza yonke into yabo but futhi at the same time mina ngifuna ngibuye ngibe yi-time yabo ngoba kufuneka ngibambe but at the same time kufuneka ngilide futhi ngoba ngithi siyaye madoda kufuneka si but bese ngithi khuza ngibuye ngikhuze futhi yabo but ukubalekile we managed to make beautiful music. We managed to build houses. Yabo, kashata, rompinja kashata. Yabo, danger. Agada racho nokchola. Kono muto ngono kuti so kuti ayo naito agada ngabani nto so umshado nje bekuyeyito yabo. But ke yabo kusho ukuthi kwazameka kwahlaleka njengoba kusahlalekile namanje yabo. And I'm thinking 2025 is going to be a beautiful
year. And by the way, the only reason Tira is such a disciplined person because uma wakhe utish and uma wakhe uEpical Ngobese oshadela akhathi ukuthi nje hamba ngayo discipline kanje. But you touched on something which is going to help me move on to my next conversation, and that's the last one that we're going to touch on as khuluma ngayo is education. As a country, it looks like the numbers are not doing us good. We're one of the most illiterate countries in the world. Rating school is sitting at about 92,000 children not in school at all. The dropout rate school university is at about 17%. So a lot of people end up dropping out and not finishing our courses, and etc. And a lot of complaining. We've got degrees, but we're not getting jobs as well. So this thing, Yokfunda, is just not working for me. So as a country, education, is it still working? Because I feel like a lot of people now either want to be soccer players or they want to be famous. Like everyone wants to be famous in South Africa.
But you understand what education before the fame. I think people misunderstand that whole thing as well. I come from a structured family. I come from mama no baba, about 8 and I walk and I get friends.
Yeah.
And when people say like, I go, now I'm telling issues, I'm now, what's baba no mama, I think we undermine how much when we say things have changed. We are the generation that is exactly experiencing the change. We are not the one that is going to, and then it changed in 19-something. So education is important in South Africa. I mean, for me, I believe our government messed up when they did 30%. I don't know who says what, but whether you're going to use that degree after or you're not going to use that degree after, but it's horrible that you say there are kids that can't. And I see the one that we were talking about that are not in school at all. There are kids, there are people who are 16, 17 in this country who can't read, and they've been to school, but the capacity to understand how to read it's not about reading a fiction or a novel or something, but just to read. But the whole thing, I think it stems on that 30%.
Absolutely.
When you are a student, and I know this because I was a D student until I failed standard 8, and then I realized then that I'm smart. I realized I'm smart later in life because I used to think because my other siblings were smarter, doing better courses. I subconsciously believed that I'm the one who's dumb. Until I failed standard 8, and then my father was like, when I'm yakwazi. From standard 8, 10, 9, 10, I was on top 10. After about D, not 8. So when your subconscious mind tells you that you can't do this, then you can't. And if our bar is at 30%, so the kids that are like me, that were supposed to be pushed and told that no, there's nothing wrong with your mind, you can learn and read, they are also going to read with capacity at 30%. I think that 30% is number one. Is a major problem. I don't care what you are. I saw it at 30%. Get about man pass it till 30. No, that's us. Pass it till 50 till 55. I said pass it. But that was just barely making it. Now imagine barely making it for 30%.
I mean, I'm kind of with school in high school. Why is this the second language or English?
A second language.
Why is this the second language or English?
So we did the first language.
First.
Second language was Afrikaans.
Anyway.
You both got entry to a tertiary institution.
Yes.
Right? DUT?
Yeah, I did DUT.
UKZN. Coach, before I let you speak, I want to tell everyone here that we've got someone here who got 5 A's in matric. 5.
What?
Wow! 5 A's. 5 A's. And then you say, I'm following my passion. I remember when I said this at home because I dropped out of university. By the way, AUKZA. But I went back and I finished my degree. I'm fine now. So I dropped out. But you know, at home, you know how families are. Go back. Because I wanted to follow my passion for radio, right? But that's just for the parents to be happy. Now, Nqubeko said, I am going to be focusing on football. What type of photo? I don't know if he's still carried on. Are you still carrying on? What's going on?
For starters, I'm going to Nqubeko smart kid. It wasn't 5, but it was somewhere close to that.
Dude, wow.
Somewhere close to that.
4 and 5.
But yeah, for me, junior yes, if I went to Nqubeko, because the kaya, like I said, in Nqubeko, you had to find the school. Ekaya being open in there, you know how parents are. The first one went to boarding school, the last one went to boarding school. I was the only one who stayed at home. Nafunda nasema high school nasekaya locally. And funny enough, with past ukudlula bonke laba baye ama results am wayemahle in such a way that nabadlula bonke those who went to better schools, because my brother went to your school in Lord. Yeah. So yeah, into Mnqithi ilo ngifike kanjani kuyona. Ilo it just happened. Yabo lento apply ukuthi na let me just try it. Kanti the results are going to match whatever you are applying for. Because I wasn't an A student from grade 10 to only grade 11, 14 you going to matric. That's when ngidlala ibhola one abadlala bebhola nesikole abahlangani kanje, but only in matric because I had to do it at the time. So yeah, qualified for law, did law. It was alright, hard, because law is hard. It is really hard because went there ngafunda, and it did happen. 5-6 years because it's a 4-year degree, but you go on for 6 years because and there's module that only exists in first semester. Then following years we end the first semester. You have to come like the following year. It was hard because varsity. Varsity is never easy, regardless of what degree you're doing. Varsity is never easy. This is as fun as they went to better schools. This is
second language.
But yeah, and then it's just as fun as so you start looking down on yourself. But it goes to the sort of the English or what's it's about in the full part. Can you apply it? Can you do it? And then as in the varsity, you start gaining confidence in yourself.
So Gladwin, I know you left school for football on the go because you were 15 when 16 when you started the football career. And have you ever envisioned yourself doing anything else besides football, studying law?
Obviously, when you're growing up, you want to be a doctor, and you tell your parents things about utokotela, and then along the way, life happens, because I went to Ijomo Cosmos Academy, where you had no support. Even the parents doesn't support you because they know you get everything there because you are in a good setup, but you don't get anything. Actually, you have to support yourself, you have to provide for yourself. So besihlanganisa uthola ukuthi eskela uyadistebeka. You get to matric, you are in the first team, they train at 9. Sometimes you want to force that breakthrough your first team. So you start at work, a training, and then after you go to school. Sometimes ufika iskela sesiyaphuma bayahamba. So the fact that you were there, it's something. So that was how it's like, Kimi. So, and then when I finished my matric, I I had to sub ama subject I2. And then when I registered for e-supplementary, lapha bayangifuna ku-national team under 20. So there was so many distractions. Yeah, so I had to go to the national team. We camped for a month, and then that was it.
So Ivala with our coach here, but before Ivala have Sifiso. Now Sifiso went to UKZN as well. So because he used to walk funny. So I'm interested in this walk. I know straight off demonstrating. Against UJ, and then your name changed to something else.
Yeah, to starting.
To starting.
To starting, yeah.
So for you, just tell us a bit about your journey with UKZN.
Sure, you know, whenever you grow up in Makaya, minage eskoleni, uye eskoleni nje. Kangiwoka ukuya 9 kilometers ukubuya 9. Yabo. Osukwini kusho ukuthi mina 18 kilometers ngohlanganisile. Yabo, because emakhaya you walk a certain distance unganaki. Isikole suke sikude, yabo. And then nihamba nabangani, ngeke ninaki indlela, but manje I can't walk it. Mase ngibuka ngithi yo, ngihamba indlela engaka ngesikoleni. You see, but lento iya ngokuthi wena ufunani, ivision yakho. Yabo, ngangihlezi ngibatshela abangani bami ngithi asibukeni amakhaya ethu asifuna ukwenza ngcono. Singawenza ngcono, but lento it goes ukuthi njengoba sihleli kanje sonke sinama vision, but i-vision yakho ibona endlini usuhleli wedwa ucabanga ukuthi yazi ngifuna ukuba ne-double story nani, but ukuthi ngithole double story kumele ngenze nje, ngenze kanje. So if wena uzoforcelwa in education, that's why most of abantu abaningi isikole basiyeka abanye nani, because i-vision yakhe bungakhona ukufunda isikole, but isikole educate you ukuthi ukwazi ukucabanga empilweni. Abanye abantu bathatha isikole ukuthi hayi mina ngeke ngisebenze ngesikole. Yazi Tira la kuba kayanga esikoleni mhlawumbe iziningi izinto engabe ama decision awathathayo wayenza nje atlamzi nje awenzayo, but because he's educated engqondweni yakho uyakwazi ukuthatha isinqumo sokuthi okay yazi mina ngenza kanje kuzoyenzeka kanje. Ukubuka umuntu oyile esikoleni ongayile ungabanikeza manje 10,000 enza into enhle ngo 10,000 yakhe, but isinqumo sakhe asithathile mhlawumbe next 5 years anga leyo nto ingabe ingasekho. Lo uqala ibhiziness elincane nje, yabo, into encane, but inqumo zakhe ayithathile zimbeka lapha. It's education iyenza njalo. So abantu abaningi when they go to school abazi ukuthi kahle kahle ukuyofunda, bazi ukuthi education impumela, abasho ukuthi masophethe degree that's where uphumela khona, but it's change your mindset ukuthi ukwazi ukucabanga ukuthi yabona mengicabanga mina empilweni njengoba esikoleni ngafundisa ukuthi mengakuthatha ngubisela ka grade 3 ungafika uphase into ongayazi because of ingqondo yakho usuyazi ukuthi okay emhlabeni kuphilwa kanje kanje, ufundiswe izinto ezikanje na kanje kanje. So in terms of education I think abantu abaningi they must change it ukuthi uphumelela ngayo, but find knowledge ukuze uphumelele, yabo, in terms of education. So manje abanye abantu bathi hayi mina ngikwazi ukulungisa imoto, but ukulungisa kwakhe imoto nale knowledge bunga mhlambe ngakufaka ka Toyota. Yayibona leyo nto ukuthi njoba kufika la wazi nesingisi wazi nani ufika abelungu bapatient, so I know he speaks English right nani and everything. Educated siyambona ukuthi uyakwazi ukuthatha inqumo ezikanje empilweni, but yes he's good but he can't think, he's clumsy nje uvela yenza izinto zakhe cabanga. So education into ekanjalo. So nami ngikhula khuleke ugogo vele mina hayi ekhaya Nkosi yami amantombazane kuphela, mina ngu number 8 awu7 aphambi kwami aphasa wonke asema university. So nami bekune pressure ukuthi ndoda ubona udade wena benzani, wena kwenzakalani ngawo, ubuya esikoleni uhambe uyodlala, uyathiwa kwakhe sizitsho gijima uyodlala, homework awuyenzile usuyenza esikoleni, but that's ukukhula and then ubona urealize ukuthi no man I need to do this, I need to do izinto right if we are educated. So nami ngikhule kanjalo, went to esikoleni sami kuthiwa hambisana yazi emakhaya English ufundiswa ngesizulu kuthiwa hayi namhlanje sizoyenza ama-verb. Yabo, njalo kuthiwa namhlanje soyenza i-verb. Yabo, ufundiswa ngesizulu. Yabo, English oyifundiswa ngesizulu, yabo. Uthisha Mnqithi. Yabo, ngalile nge-second language. Yabo.
You've done well with the half.
So sikhule kulele njalo, and then we went to university. When we to university, there's one thing bengayazi. Ngangakwazi mina computer. Ngangakayazi. Ngafika sanikezwa assignment, ngabhala ngesandla, ngasubmit. So baba kuyatype la ekhaya. Sicela ukuthi uqale phansi yo type. It took me 2 days. Ukutype nje ama-page out ngingazi ngithinta kanje ngingazi kwenzakalani kuthiwa ngeke uhlanganisile shintsha ifonti shintsha ngingayazi yonke leyo nto yabo, especially emakhaya. Ingakho ugovernment wethu kumele akwazi ukuthi alungise izinto zasemakhaya ukuthi manje ngoba masifika sa-strugglisha university ingane ehlakaniphile iphuma no level 7 kuphela, but when ifika university i-strugglisha izibuza ukuthi lo muntu ngoba uphuma ehlakaniphile ukuthi ayithakathiwe le ngane. Cha, no, environment yalaphana ayifani njengasemakhaya yabo. So whenever we get there at the university, kumele sifike yabona nje ngathi ekole ngasemakhaya ungathiwa nje kusukela ko grade 7 grade 1 zifundisa ingane ama-computer and everything, because uma ifika la university it's difficult ngoba ufika lapha akekho okulandelela athi usubmitanga. So it's kind of different ukuthi manje mosemakhaya usuke emakhaya nomuntu osuke boarding school uyayazi computer babe ne-design baba nani asiyazi lo nto siyazi eThekwini. So yile nto engishona in terms of education, I think our government can do better. Intweni ezikanjalo ukuthi iy'kole zasemakhaya bazikhulise ukuthi uma bafika e-university abantwana, because uyenze i-degree for 4 years uyenze 6 years kube khona ingane eyenza u4 years. If senihambisa ama-academic records enkampanini babu kuthiwa 4 years lo u6 years lo asathu 4 years, because of i-struggle as much as ngiphasile kahle but ngi-strugglishile ngifika. That struggle abayibheki musufuna umsebenzi. That's why ubona abantu abaningi banama-degrees but bahleli emakhaya. Whenever they check their CVs and everything, academic record, yebo sine-certificate sobabili ukuthi sine-degree, but academic records no, let's start lo. Bahlala abantu emakhaya bangasebenzi. So it's something like that. So all government, if they can fix there with basic lapha ezansi, everything can change.
Yeah, that's a goalkeeper. Yeah, very profound. So since we're dealing to coach, and coach, I'm going to ask you to just your general view on education in South Africa. But before as a coach as well, for you to dive into, as a coach, mona badlali bebhola, ukhona imahluko khona phakathi kwalabo abafundile nalabo abangazange baze ba progress in terms of education. Be honest.
No, but I hear Tira complaining about the second language, English. I hear I'm points of everybody has spoken. But one thing in Nakola which you have all looked at, which for me is the main problem with the education in South Africa. Because if I want to put aluminium windows in my house, the Mozambicans and the Zimbabweans are ready to help me. If I want to put balustrades, stainless steel balustrades in my house, the Mozambicans, the Zimbabweans are ready to do that. And if I want to do boiler making, plumbing, and all these artisans, and I think our education system is failure because it never catered for the capabilities and interests. We never did. University class, but I've never done any aptitude test in the check because maybe I could have been something else. Maybe I don't know. Because if I were to tell you my story from Dana, I was good at almost all these subjects because they start some standard 7 or phanometric. Or when we external examination, serious stuff like you university, high school. Because standard 7, then high school. So standard 7 we were doing all these subjects, intensive like metric. Then I was good in maths, I was good in general science at that time, I was good in history, geography, and all these things. But I passed standard 7 and I was very young. When I got to high school, in a boarding school, there was this boy, Uwanda. I still remember what was. He did not know me. I did not know him. He was coming from somewhere, I was coming from somewhere. But I was small and young. And he was bigger like Mlungwana. Then he said to me, are you coming to 8A? 8A, science and physics. And I'm good. And my results are saying I'm good. But Uwanda says to me, we are mazu Tishungile. Tishungile was this guy who I guess that mentioned Omoto is Kora, big. Yena wenza sinas akashaye upolice.
Ayikhula ngeduku
science because abantu abanemfaka on one side of the eye. Awambuka nje febona kahle. Ukwenza some equations ala ko 45 per night as one homework. The following day I was not in 8A. Ngaphuma kanjalo wa 8A ngahlukana nge-maths and physics, which I believe I could have done well because the person that I was studying with, standard 7, went all the way, and we were in competition like this. He was slightly smarter than me. He went to Stanford University in America. There I am at the University of Transkei. And with history and geography and what, and I left my mathematics because somebody said, hey, I have the because I always believed I could do that. Then that guy went all the way to represent big companies. That slogan of ABSA, today, tomorrow, together, was designed by that guy.
Wow.
He was a genius. He's still a genius today. But because our education system does not cater for all these things that maybe Tira could have chosen this direction from the beginning, because they could have seen that he is a creative. Maybe he should just pursue the creative side.
I could have done music and educated then.
You catch what I'm
I don't
saying?
want to play keyboard. Hey, man, the drum, ashing Tilis.
Shall he play?
So our education system does not cater for all that we are. And as a result, more Celeste, we arts and creativity as even the family from the beginning, I'm sure they said, this is not nature. What is this? Because our education system is, when I say to people I passed university, I finished, but I did not know there was something called physiotherapy. And I was at university and I'm already having a degree. I left, I stopped football because I had an hamstring. Then somebody from my village who was at the University of Western Cape, when I'm already working as a teacher, he says to me, oh, you're no longer playing. No, man, I could have still been playing, but unfortunately, I had this bad injury here. At home, this guy, everybody's saying he's a doctor, Dr. Ntuli. He says, no, man, you must come to me, let's have a look. And I'm expecting the injection, all those things, because we told Dr. Nasikalo, because he 3 sessions, my hamstring is okay. Wow. And I've already taken a decision to stop playing football. So, our education system and the exposure is not sufficient, more especially for us from the villages. But I also thank God that I'm from the village, believe me. Because I believe I would not be as resilient as I am if I was coming from somewhere else except the village, and I've gone through all the challenges of life and realized that I have to find a way to get out of there and improve myself. Because the village made me the person that I am today. But in South Africa, where are plumbers that are South Africans? Where are boiler makers that are South Africans? The welders and all these things that you can think of. And we can't all have certificates. Our education system is forcing us to get employed by someone. Our education does not make us to want to employ people. Can you imagine how easy this thing is? That I want to do something so that I can be the one who employs people. But our system says, let's go to the companies that are owned by the Mozambicans, that are owned by the Zimbabweans, because their education system is very good. And that's where the problem is. Because Tina, we are learned. We are learned, but we can't do much.
We're not skilled.
It's like somebody who is, it's like somebody who says, I have a degree. Sometimes he's got a lot of information, but he does not have the knowledge.
To apply.
And you can have the information and have the knowledge, but you don't have the wisdom. You know, so in life, I think our education system has made us to be somehow stereotyped and pushed towards working and becoming something because I'm a doctor, I'm a teacher, and I was a teacher, by the way. So it's very important for me to talk about this because I've seen most boys who could have played football like Shitolo. But if Shitolo had to do boiler making, had to do, let's say, welding or whatever, aluminium windows and all these things, he could have done that and achieved that before matric and continued with football. Then when football is finished, he brings his tools, he does his work. But now he was pushing to get to the university, and football did not allow that. Because football says at age 17, you should be playing for the first team somewhere. Because you should be able to play the World Cup, you should be able to play for the national team, and. But you are still doing matric. At home they are saying, hey, you can't leave this one. I could have played professional football when I was at varsity already, but when I came home excited that hey, Pushbox wants to sign me, what did you go to Mthatha for? I learned your phone. Then I will cook in another year. And the money in terms of holder because I was even traded with him. 2.5. 2,500. I'm going to retire. And the players that I played with, Osipho Nzuzo, because we were at varsity with him at that time. Mzawutetno Kwaza at Transakai College, which was just across the road. And they all played for Mthatha Parks. Sipho went on to play for Mamelodi Sundowns and Manning Rangers. And these people, I was playing and they were not playing sometimes. But my parents said, schoolman this when I was swearing out your phone, I went to the boy and my High School principal. He said when we were young, because the school in Saki was Shaka school in Saki. So in Ghana, that's Balega with his coach. So he had this thing that he used to tell us that a Rolling Stone gathers no moss. So Mama Nubalega, he will never make anything in life. So finally, was the Kelly. Now, Apo reminds me, hey, we are calling your phone. Puma because even when I started coaching, I did not know there is a job in this thing. I just got into this thing and it just favored me. Maybe if I knew there was a career in coaching from the beginning, maybe I could have been better than what I did.
No, I think you're exactly where you need to be, right? You're exactly where you need to be. I mean, not every coach can brag about the amount of success that you have achieved. But don't run away from my question about players. Is there a difference between coaching a player for zero, coach umdlali,
I've got too many case studies. I've worked with a lot of football players.
Yes.
Let me start with the first case study. Mbulelo Mabizela, I think he arrived in matric. If you were to meet him outside the field of play, he was close to a hope. somebody that you would say, there's nothing that will ever come out of this. But when he wears his soccer boots and he gets into the pitch, before the match starts, if you were to say who could be the captain of this team, without any shadow of doubt, Mlungwana will be your captain. He did not have the highest level of education, but he had all the fundamentals of a top football player. And there was no difference in his performance and how he understands and read the game. You would think you are dealing with someone who's got a degree, a doctorate in something, because inside the field of play, he was an unbelievable football player, very intelligent, very timeous in everything. His tackles are never late. I don't even remember him getting a red card as a centre back. He was a very good footballer. No education. And I also have players that have got very good education system, that are graduates with degrees, but football in its nature, it does not just need your information and knowledge, but it just needs your wisdom of being streetwise. Because football is football. Football, you must see things that the coach did not tell you. Yeah. And at times, we as coaches, we are so wrong. We are so wrong. Because Nqubeko plays a pass and it gets intercepted. As a coach, I'm already up, firing in all cylinders to say, why did you make that pass? But when I'm looking at the video after now, I'm doing my match analysis, I'm saying, if this Pascal Nqubeko succeeded, this was a goal. So what he was trying to do was better than what I thought as a coach. Because he saw something that I could not see from the position I was in. And because he was in it, if I knew what he was trying to do, I would have stood up and said, try again, my boy. But when I stood up, I wanted to slam him with, what were you trying to do? And I'm already saying, Shitolo, warm up. Because I did not see what he was doing. That's why I decided to be this type of a coach who shouts and fights and does everything with the players in training. Because the game has taught me that there are many things that happen in the pitch that when I'm still emotional, I will make so many mistakes and shout at people that I should be complimenting to say, continue with what you are doing, because this is what can win me the match. So football has taught me that sometimes, and probably my personality, I must be very hard and harsh and shout and be everything in training. But during exams, which is the match, I must observe how much learning took place from training. And the bosses are saying, hi, you are not driving this team, you are not shouting, you are not what, because people want to see you at work. You know, in South Africa, you must be at work. You must be moving around, showing that you are here. But in essence, you are doing nothing. You know, there was a coach that I once worked with. He would stand up when the match was on. I'm not going to mention the name. He would stand up, rush to the touchline and say, hey, Shitolo, and shout at Shitolo, and Shitolo turns. Nothing wrong, my boy.
The bosses are watching.
When someone is there watching, and there's nothing wrong. And there was also another actor that was once a coach in South Africa. He's from here. He was an actor, a very good actor. He would be there on the bench, and he calls a player, "It's Tsepo!" And Tsepo turns and looks at him. And he says, he has never done this in the training. The players don't understand. He's continuing with his job. I asked Yaku to do it. So the players would say, we need a coach. He's bringing confusion on the players that are already confused because he's trying to show people that he's working. Because in South Africa, you must be busy. I also coached another team in South Africa. It was a very big team in Tira. They had this player, he was the biggest player in the pitch. He had this hairstyle, it looked like he I'm not lying to you. And you would say, I laugh. I'm a supporter as a clap and time. Who should want a babona a Shaka Zulu in the pitch? Some more. He left the Kamanyama Kalipa. Can you want to but because Zulus like the physical posture, he's big, he's tall. He was even a captain. Can you imagine a captain who is killing the people there? But this captain is behaving like veterans. And I'm trying to illustrate a whole lot of things that will make you understand. This guy, when he's praying before the match, because you know these foreign nationals sometimes are very religious. When he's praying before the match, sometimes I would open my eyes because I would think maybe God is looking at us. Yeah, because when he's praying and he's still in the starting lineup, Jesus, the prayer would be so solid. It's like you've got a pastor in the house. I'll ask him to pray when he's not in the starting lineup. He said, Amen. So long and short, football does require education. It's a fact. Because there are angles that must be understood by the players. There is so much. When we talk of tactics in football, we're talking of positional play, field occupation, and all these things. There must be angles. We'll talk of a peripheral view, which means when the ball is coming from this side, put yourself in a position where you can see where the ball comes from and where it's supposed to go next. That is why we will say receive it with your back foot. Most South African players, they will receive the ball with the front foot. By time another I don't know which means about which buys in my you are taking away seconds. And those seconds in football are very important. Because if this ball was coming to you and you received with this back foot immediately, you would be there. And you would have maybe eliminated Tira and Nqubeko. So, to understand this positional sense, to understand the body position, half turn, and all these things, school becomes important. But like I said, there are exceptions to all the rules. There are players that are not educated, but who just do the right things all the time. And there are players that are educated, because sometimes in football, if your technique is not very good, this is one thing that I always say to people. If your technique is not very good, you will be surprised that people will like you. Because Vakbona Up is no bowler for too long than other players. But the reason why Up is no bowler is because you could not receive it with one touch and pass it to the next player with the second touch. So because your technique, ubambe hapa plisha watu ngo quick, wapindwa ifauko kwa fire, washulumu, wapindwa watu hawatuleko mungu kwa haiko. Nini msokani short the muti goes and he was the whole way. He was quicker, so he was making mistake of receiving this ball, the bounce. Man bounce and the phezulu Tira angikafike kulona afika athinde ngesandla sakhe afika phambili athinde ngophozo bese bangathi and you are having problems throughout the sequence. Even the short, we shy so you could no longer even look at others. For so long as I with the rally match, but coach after the match, the only player that get the shot. Ultimate but people who are technical, who can receive the ball and keep it quiet with one touch. And the second touch, it's a shot, it's a pass, it's everything. I never getting the same recognition. So sometimes people, what we praise, because I can give you maybe 2 players in the PSL. And when you start looking at this player, this player is useless. Already started a good player. Because when a technique can step over, my watch I step over, it defend the Ilala. But every time after I step over, because we're too excited, I was not really happy goal after that. But Tina supporters, Sakura Sakwa, they don't want to know when we have a credit. Because we share all the money, we like them up, all so football it requires talent. It requires the acquisition of skills. And sometimes these players that are not as talented usually become more efficient than the talented ones because they just do simple things. They know how to receive the ball and pass. They know how to shoot. They know how to head and score. And they do all the simple things, but they become more efficient. And we want them more than the ones that are talented because sometimes the ones that are talented cannot be guided because in the sense they are off the cuff. Awazi ukwenzanga kodwa masenzile abayinhle siyanqoba mangabe siyenzile backfire put you no it's one of those days.
Yeah, I think but I'm very hurt by what you're saying because I'm such a fan of tiki-taka. So I'm really from the Johan Cruyff School of Football. So when they do those moves, somehow something comes alive.
But that's why now you are making a mistake because I think when you're talking of tiki-taka, you are thinking of team. And this is not. If you can watch the Barcelona team, tiki-taka, probably 99% of the team was playing 2-touch, 1-touch, 2-touch.
Yeah.
Maybe Lionel Messi and Iniesta would have maybe 3-4 touches.
Yeah.
But generally, 1-touch, 2-touch, 1-touch, 2-touch, 1-touch, 2-touch. Because of what I said before.
They have a technique.
They've got the technique. So they make what is so difficult look so easy.
I get you, Coach.
That's why I'm forget crowding. One touch, 2 touch, 1 touch. Challenge errors. Challenge errors. FC versus errors.
I'm a professional. Don't worry.
I also don't want people.
Yeah, please.
1-2 touch.
We're gonna wrap it up. I've got a game that we're gonna play. But before we play that game, I want, because today is all about lessons, I don't want it to sound all breezy and so nice and polished, you know what I mean? And these careers that we're in, we experience failure. Yes. We experience criticism. We experience a lot of things that leave us very sad. So I want us to touch on those. For those who still want to be in football, want to be in comedy, want to be DJ Tira one day in entertainment and events, want to coach in football one day, I want us to give them the reality of these things that we go through. Gladwin, I know, Wutsi, you are also one of the players who were on loan from a team that was considered a big team, and for someone else that might have appeared to be a failure, you know, it's okay, there's my big break, and now suddenly I'm on loan, you know. Please take us through that, but also just generally, some of the things that you feel in football, people need to know when it comes to failure.
Yeah, obviously, when you go on loan, you feel discouraged. You feel like you are not capable. You don't have the qualities enough to be in that club, you know. But when you go to the other, so when you get to the other side, you see that it's an opportunity for you to show that you have the qualities. So we always have to look at a positive side of it. Even if it's bad, we need to put the feelings aside and focus on the work.
And look at you, I mean, captain, and you've been with the team for almost 10 years. That's a huge achievement for yourself. So I don't want you to take that achievement very lightly. You've done exceptionally well for yourself. Well done for that. Nqubeko, here you are, still have hopes of playing for the national team. And you know, sometimes you're at bed, and your name is not there, and you're like, but what am I not doing right? What are some of the down moments that you feel have been there for you when it comes to football?
When it comes to football, yeah, in football I've been, I won't say through a lot, but because I had to go through the whole process of varsity whatsoever. Football hasn't been easy. What you see is definitely what you get. Behind the scenes, just like everywhere. There's a lot that happens in training whatsoever. But my downs will be, you know, the thought of had my father still be here. Man, because he was a super football fan. But not to see you actually do it is one of Amatanzan now because he was the one guy who believed in me. He thought I couldn't play because he thought maybe his firstborn whatsoever. But yeah, somewhere just to actually see for him to see me do things. For him to actually see it, that's one of he thought because yeah, if it was still here, I mean, you know, that would be like dream come true. Because he was so passionate about it. Yeah. So passionate about it. Yeah, but yeah, that's life. Life is just like that. It happens. Yeah.
Well, we believe he's smiling down in heaven, looking down on you now, and your dream of being Toboson will still be. You can be the bus driver of the team, you can be the coach, you can be the owner, you can be the captain, you can be everything. So it's still very much intact, still very young. Yeah. So yeah, let's say Ubaba is watching, and he'll come through for you to just to say, tell you, because I think what you really want to see, hear him say that he's proud of you, and we know he's proud of you.
But yeah, with the Bafana one, everyone playing for your country is a dream come true. On my end, but I'd love for umuntu oyedwa maybe wangakithi engikwazi to have, if it might not be me or anyone, but umuntu oyedwa sengikwazi to represent and be COSAF or whatever, it's okay, but umuntu oyedwa, so that because siphuma emakhaya imindeni nasemakhaya, they don't see football as a career. Abayibona ibhola bayibona njengento ukuthi achitha isikhathi, but if we can have lo muntu oyedwa, ningabi mina whatsoever, lo muntu oyedwa semakhaya to bring inspiration kuwo wonke abafana abancane abangasekhaya ukuthi it is possible. See town encane close to Swaziland, mhlambe Swaziland, who knows, but to have that one person represent South Africa at any level would be a dream come true for me myself. It might not be me, it can be someone else.
It must be. Yeah. It must be. You're closer to the dream than most, actually. So
rather watch it from far and let it be someone else.
Don't be scared.
Maybe none was part of the dream, man. You really inspire for that person to actually get there.
Lovely.
It's just a pity because I think it could happen.
Yeah. Sure.
But you just have to believe.
Absolutely.
Most players, I look at most players, because I've been privileged of knowing more than 90-something% of players that play in PS because I watch football too much. And I know most of their strengths and their weaknesses. And I believe the weaknesses that you have as a player are weaknesses that are easy to improve because they are not technical. Technically, you are very good. And when you've got the base of being technically sound, then maybe we must look at the biomechanics and look at your physical side and work on that space because I just believe with a little bit more intensity in your game, you could be star. That's my belief. But when I look at you, if there's something that I will complain about, and I'm sorry to tell everyone, because I believe technically you are very good. The first time I saw you at Tax, I was very impressed. But I still believed that biomechanically and physically, I don't think you've been worked very hard enough to achieve your ultimate, because I do believe isn't as short down. You know, sometimes you call it he's got a very good body, he's got this, he's got this, he's got A, but he just does not have technique.
Yeah.
Then when that technique, you must just stop playing.
Yeah.
But when you've got technique and you don't have aerobic capacity, you don't have anaerobic capacity, you don't have speed endurance, then these other components are easy to train and improve and become better and become what you want to be. But when you don't even know you've got a shortcoming there, because nobody emphasizes on what needs to improve, maybe people are emphasizing what you have and not know what maybe for you to raise the bar and go a step further, you just have to improve this 1, 2, 3 things and see what will happen. And I was also very impressed to see this boy with this weight today and said, wow. Because I've always believed that what will hamper his career was his weight. And when I saw him like this, I can sign him. But when you are signed by me, it was over Makhaleni.
So you needed to hear that. Yeah. That's a huge vote of confidence. And should be a huge boost for you as well. So like I said, can still be you, flying the Gladwin flag and representing the Mangoes. Mangoes are okay. Wow. Okay. Almost together. Just now.
You suffer with it.
Sifiso, usually you're called number one, but when things go south, things go south. And as a goalkeeper, you feel that pressure quite a lot. And the coach touched on your weight here as well. I'm sure you've experienced that kind of criticism and pressure. Tell us a bit about that kind of failure.
Even me, I wasn't happy about myself. Maybe in my mind, because I always say if I would have been like this. Because when you stop rugby, the muscle become fat, so it's hard. I really tried my best up until I had that mentality. I think so you can go far, because most of the people, they always telling me, hey bro, you are so good, but your weight. You see, in fact, so there's things you do how much more if you are skinny like this, or maybe the ability that you can have. Up until it sink inside, because people are like I was playing football, but I wasn't even watching a game. Go cricket, because I used to love rugby. And then up until it sink in my life, I can go far to watch a national team, because I went to Olympics. That's where I saw myself. I'm this good in South Africa. Out of all these kids are under 23. When I'm about 20, which means I'm so good. I can do. I think me in my mindset would know. As much as they can criticize me, I can get the lento. And see how life is gonna be. Yeah. So I think each and everyone empilweni need to have that strength. It's even if mental strength, it doesn't mean ukuthi akukho buhlungu. Yabo, but mentally you need to be strong so that you can survive. Yabo, because empilweni sihlukanisa abantu abaningi. Yabo, there's someone who's quick and there's someone who's fast. Someone who's quick, it requires more mentally. Yabo, ukuthi ngathiwa asithathe nawo amazwi lawo. I'm quick to absorb that message, but I'm slow. Or fast or is late message. Yes, think again. That's how life it is. Sometimes we absorb into fast. We respond physically. So you need to so that you can succeed. Because if you are sleeping, yes, then God be land. But it's you. Unkulunkulu gives you tools. Where I am, anganginika tools ukuthi ngibe successful empilweni ngalendlela engifuna ukuba successful ngayo. There's a gym, kunabantu abenza ama nutrition and stuff and everything. Why not invest kuleyo nto so that I can dynamic give national team, I can go to AFCON, I can go somewhere, I can sign by big teams in South Africa because of ability. So I think our mindset, we need to think positive each and every time. Yes, there's gonna be that negativity, but we beat the positivity. No man. Yes, in life we always fail. There are times where you fail. When you fail, you learn. You see, when you fail, that's where you learn in life. So when I'm in impilo, if we get into later, it's okay. I'm gonna do that later. That's where we learn impilo. Ian's a man because that's a sense of coffee, and then say we're gonna drink it later. Enjoy. You see, so you need to, if you want to do something, do it now. You see, that's what I did in my mind with North Face. I said, wait, let me just do it now. The next month, let me just do it now. So I think in mentality, I think Shinja one went on after even people can criticize me because most of the time, are you sure? Well, there's stress or there's something else? No, I just gave myself what let me just try this. Now I'm because I'm gonna reach it. I need to be good in giving back. Good in football. Because I see it, man. It's okay. Which means but he gave me this. Yeah. Let me just do this.
Done.
Yeah.
And welcome. Coach Manqoba, you've won the CAF, you've won the PSL number of times, trophies. I know one of the most important things that you keep mentioning is winning with Golden Arrows, the MTN8, because I know that was a big deal for you. So I want to find out from you now, you've also experienced a lot of criticism and recently lost your job, fans booing you. You are criticizing Abadlali on camera, you are too much. For you, when you put it all together and you express yourself in terms of a coach, what was that like for you and how do you overcome something like that?
I think I'm just very fortunate because in my life I don't think I need any affirmations. I don't think people who speak behind cameras hurt me that much because sometimes they don't even have identity. So I would be unfair to myself if I want to always feel bad what people say. We make these choices. Tira will tell you, we make these choices of the careers that we are doing. And at home we are with you imoto emile ayikhonkotha. So no dog barks at a car that isn't moving. But when you are doing something right, you then become the ultimate target. Fortunately for me, and I think the person who knows me better than many people is Mrs. Mato, the owner of this place. We are I'm I'm so thick-skinned, it's not fun. I don't give a damn about what people are saying because I know my capacity and I know what I'm capable of. And I'm not seeking any, people with societal pressures who would say, hey, do I fit in? Do I not fit in? What do people think of me? I don't have that. I'm too confident. As a passenger, that's one thing you would know. Even the MTN 8 that you are talking about, if you remember, when we went to play the MTN 8, it was the first cup final for me in the PSL. With a club that has never been in a cup final. But what I said to people at that time, it was how many years ago, and I said, when I did matric, everybody said, hey, do you think we'll make it through matric? Matric is very difficult. But I still did matric and passed. So sometimes we get overwhelmed by what people say and forget that maybe you've never had an opportunity to be there. So now it's your first opportunity to be there and do matric. It's like somebody telling you about marriage when you have made a decision that I'm getting married. Aibo, you want to be married? Do you know when Zagala and Shatwing is this and that and that and that and that? No. Your problems must not be my problems.
Yeah.
Maybe I will have a very nice marriage. So let me do it as well. I can't now say, hey, no. I thought I'm going to take you next year, but now they are telling me, okay, this thing of marriage, I must reconsider. Then I'm no longer getting married because somebody said something. So I'm a strong believer in my principles. And no matter who says what, I'm so confident about my capacity as a coach is on fire.
Yeah.
And I know I will still get another job. It's inevitable. It's something only with him. I will get another job and I will do well in that job.
Amazing.
And it's life,
Absolutely.
And fortunately, with God's grace, I think I've won too much. That is the truth. When I started coaching, I always wanted to win trophies because how would it be you are a conqueror but you have never conquered? Because my name says Mngqithi. So to say today, maybe in my career I've had more than 18 trophies. It's for me God's grace, and I thank God.
Amen.
Wonderful. 18 trophies. Phew.
I'm not even sure whether it's 18, maybe it's more.
Could be more. You are not sure.
But it's too many. When I started, I would make sure that when I win a medal, I put it in a frame and put it on the wall there. After
it's 5,
I think now maybe more than 10 medals are not even in something there. Because I said, maybe let me just wait for my career to finish. I will do this thing once and do it proper, because maybe where I have won, I could have had 9.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And then go on to the next trophy, because I'm fortunate in Africa. If there are any trophies that I've not won in Africa, it would be AFCON. All the trophies that are on offer in South Africa and in African club football, I've won.
Well done, Coach. Well done. I'm with you, Celeste.
Yes.
First of all, before you go into the veil, I always ask myself, like, have you experienced like telling a joke and people just don't laugh?
No. You see, now you're talking. You see, you remember when you talk about let me tell you. Like, now you see exactly. You see how you guys, when you talk about marriage, I kept quiet. I might not be very, very good there, but when it comes to telling jokes, no. I'm 20 years in this game. I've never died on stage, and I don't think it's something that comes easy for me. Having a conversation, and also comedy is about understanding the crowd first. So I think the only thing that has been harder for me for this is to match my money with my talent on stage. When I see, because I travel a lot, and when I perform and I view other people and I see them how they're performing, I know for a fact. I'm trying this year. Hopefully, I'll be able to do my son better, because I am in that level. But because we're women again, those things they get paid. I'm lucky this year. I'm grateful that I saw so many younger female comedians. But when we were starting up, it has always been, and I've always had that question. So how do you survive in this male-dominated? I think people say it's male-dominated. That's cool. It's male-dominated. There's nothing. I'm not comment. No, but the society is one of those things that they coin. It's a male. There's nothing male. There's nothing masculine about telling a story. In actual fact, it's so feminine. It's a storytelling. So, but because the society said it's only men there, I think I come from that. There has been a bigger challenge, and also I know that most women don't like to do comedy because now it doesn't translate like you as a DJ. As not as a queen. That's why also you don't have slave queens that are stand-up comedians. You can't fake that. So what happens is then that you are viewed in a masculine manner because you take control when you're on stage, and it is such an intelligent sport. You have to think deeper, and you have to think fast, and also you have to think in a way that you tell your story. Punchline works in beats, so it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and those are the things that you must learn. And all those things don't make you look pretty, fragile, and feminine. So most women don't find it such a great sport or something to join. If you realize there's nothing that holds women back not to do comedy. They do DJing now, but when it comes to comedy, the vulnerability that is there
DJing
is deeper.
And then they do their thing.
And also the vulnerability. Women don't like the vulnerability, and it's like, oh my God, Usheloba, and I get that all. Usheloba and Hobi Akurum. And I'm like, oh my Akurum, man. What's that called?
I understand what you're saying because I'm on radio, so that's a male-dominated
and I think,
as well.
And I think everything we must denounce that whole thing of. You see, when I cook, my sister is a chef, and she's always been great in the kitchen. But when she starts selling bread and jams like she's selling them now, it's still like, oh yeah, it's a female job. But when those jams reach Woolworths and now it's stock exchange, now it's a male-dominated. It's male-dominated because of the budget. There's a profit in it, you know. So I think my whole thing has been, my life, I believe, has been to denounce those common myths and beliefs that this is what you should look like. And
but you made it look so easy, Celeste. I want to get into the tough nitty-gritty stuff that like compensates failure for you. I don't want you to give me all the roses. Give me something that's like hardcore. And
I've done a lot of shows that didn't do well. I've lost a lot of money.
So you put on a show and then don't sell.
I've lost a lot of money. That's why.
What happens when you walk in there and it's like empty?
Now I've performed great shows for 60 people after coming from 2000. And literally, because you do a tour, right? And you do days like this, and you get. I remember this one time I had a tour and was doing dope. I think I sold out in Tira, I sold out in Joburg. I came to Mpumalanga, there were 60 people. Let me tell you, I gave those 60 people a show of their lifetime, because that's the whole thing about comedy. You're as good as them. You see, we don't repeat. We don't like musicians or they get that. It's like, sing that song. We want that song. You can't repeat here.
Here you comedians that repeat.
Well, of course, but that's why they're not where I am.
Spicy.
Oh no, I'm a comedian. I lied. So I think that's a whole thing of like, if you understand this game is like, you have to apply yourself. You have to understand current issues. Sometimes I'll read about Tira. I need to find a gossip. But in Zalaberete, but Tira no pasa que tu bebe zanjan. So I've learned to also, you have to open up, and that's another thing. I live in a fence. If you're a comedian, you have to be objective. You can't be like, hey Mina, this is what I do and this is what I always do and all I do. And this is another reason I'm glad that Trevor Noah gave that us the platform and the ability and he gave us the reason to dream bigger.
Yeah.
Prepare even much more bigger. And to tell you the honest truth, South African comedians are the most funniest comedians around the world. Saying this because I've done a lot of festivals around the world. I've seen so many even greater comics that we see them on television. It's a non-stop thing. You are as good as your last show. That's it. You are as
Girl,
good
you're
as
always
your last
around
show.
the world. But I want to ask you something quickly before I go to Tira.
Yeah.
You know, with comedy, people are sensitive. People are sensitive. Like, if we get a joke right now about something that's trending, you know, masondo, whatever the case might be, of something that's
because sometimes the thinking is wrong. Yeah, it is wrong, but it's just that, well, that's not be fresh.
Yeah. So when you talk about those things, like Trevor would make fun a lot about former President Jacob Zuma, you know, and there are things that as comedians there are no limits. Then
we shouldn't have limits.
Suddenly you see Will Smith slapping Chris Rock because
all comedians know that when that slap happened, he had already laughed, so the joke worked. We don't care about the slap. You see, when people talk about that thing, they rush into, but it's his wife. We're not talking about wives here. We are talking about comedy. Was that joke funny? He laughed first before he slept. The joke was funny, so comedy won. The other stuff you're going to come and discuss at home. That's not how comedy works. That's another thing. You come to see comedy and view comedy. You're not coming there to be, no one has ever died of morals and sensitivity. There's no grave. He died of moral.
So you can make jokes of LGBTQI.
They have to be made about. Why are they in the world? What do you mean? Everybody. Oh, the fact that you've chosen to sleep with a person that looks like you, now it's in you to be having a humor about your life. Are you serious? They are not that above us. They just change sex and sleeping with people that are the same, and it's good for them. But who says now all of a sudden, when I say LGBTQ, all of you are dying here? You were talking about Trevor, now we're talking about Zuma, now we're talking about people who are sleeping together. We can't talk about that. The fact that you're sleeping is wrong. It doesn't make sense. And that's another, and that's why I love the sport, because we challenge the norms. You see, every time I defend who I am based on the fact that I'm happy as much as I'm single.
Yeah.
If I were to be depressed or sleep with a Benton that it's my man, now the society is going to understand. But if I say I'm very happy, you know why it's difficult for me to date? My life is happy. You come to my house, Jesus Christ, I've created peace and it's intentional. So I'm not going to be now because you guys are like, it's nice, and then you start talking to you guys and again fight on marriage. You don't need so please, all I'm saying is understand that the life is changing. We are moving in a different. This is 2025. This is a 9th day. I'm into numerology. Numerology, that means this is you're closing everything. We're starting all over again. We are forever going to grow. We are not going to be stuck in the same thing. And I think as South Africans, I believe that this is one of the things that we must learn about ourselves. You were talking about Mozambicans and Zimbabweans and any other person that comes here. We thrive on saying we want to be international. You know what is international? When I go to London and I go to America to perform, no one says to me, there's an African. If our Trevor Noah is there killing it, because the world is for all of us to take. If Chris Brown was here to sell, because he can't sell in Hollywood, the world is all of us to sell. And this is what locks us. And that's why I refuse to be locked based on my culture and my religion, where I come from. Never. And the world is out there. God is giving us all of these things. And that's how we need to grow. Because also, the society and the generations before have missed out in having great women to serve us with what they were given. But because they were locked in being women there, that's why we couldn't have Winnie Mandela as a president. They were locked in women there. That's why we didn't have Nina Simone as the greatest musician ever. Because the society is locked to say the intelligence must come in this package. No, I'm intelligent in this package, whether you like it or not.
Preach, Celeste, preach.
Thank you, bye.
I think there's a lot of politics in comedy.
No!
I see you taking on Donald Trump. You guys are going to have so much fun with Donald Trump now.
Well, of course.
You're going to have so much fun. I look forward to that. And now back to
Sure.
Mr. Tira.
Yeah, but-
You have experienced, my God, all kinds of things. Oh,
We need to roast you. We need to roast you.
Kuthiwa uyavalelana, kuthiwa abantu bawile ngenxa yakho, kuthiwa you've even been accused of things with women, you've been accused of all sorts of things. But you continue to stand. You continue to be Malume. You still continue to fly the flag of Durban High. Here we are thriving. In fact, Durban rocks how many years now?
Yeah, from 2011.
Yo, that's 14 years. I think, yeah. So anyways, you've been here, but failure has been knocking at your door. Take us through.
Oh man, I think it's very, very important to know who's when I say bad. Because there will be many people who will be saying so many things about you. But when if they say that, whether do you know yourself which one is bad and what you are capable of? Because I mean, it's a winning. I'm grooming artists. I'm pushing those who can push them. I'm trying to take as much as I can. But obviously there will be people who won't be happy and they will see you as promoting those artists, because Bona, you're not promoting them. So Bona that's not which when, because those who are promoting, Lapo and you but it's not like that, bro. Just work. It's overnight and stop complaining about other people. So it's that, man. Otherwise, I mean, you look back, and see which it's been a lot, because people will come at you because of their own reasons. A person on the agenda, and then he attacks you, just hate. So those things you will get them. From now and again, you will get them but when most importantly is focus. I can never call again. I was so rude.
I feel Celeste shy joke.
People Celeste lost. I understand but it's life. And ngempela ngesikhathi iqiniso liyavela liyatshengisa ukuthi hawu ngoba lokho chilona besida akawina ama-cup kodwa manje nangu sekule team lena hayibo ucoach uyacruiser kanti ama-situations ama-results awo nje empilweni nje so nawe uzothola isizini yakho yoku-attackwa wenziwe zonke izinto, but because you know who you are and you can be able to focus and be disciplined and learn from your mistake if wenza a mistake and do better, I mean, you're gonna continue to grow because when this is just don't ever think negative, that is you, that is not you. But realize who you are, wake up every day, do best, do good things, even if betting, continue to do good.
But with social media, does it not affect you? Does it not get to you? Like when people start being there and you are born okay, like come on, I won't get out, and you want to prove yourself for whatever reason, and you like your phone will prove it, but what do I say when everyone is attacking you? Tira say this, Tira say that. Does it not psychologically get to you?
It does, It does, and depending on which way because excuse me, you can crash, you can decide to commit suicide, you can decide to kill yourself. Like so it depends really how strong you are, how focused you are, how can you get able to get up and dust yourself and do what you for wena. What is good for you? Do what's good for you. Forget about bonke abantu. Cabangele wena. Yeah, but at some point in time, you just need to put that. Please, ningizimu ezikhona phambi kwami. Mina yini engiyifunayo. Mina, this is what I want. So let's just focus on what you want and forget about everything else.
Right. So do you log off social media when umusha, or do you stay and read the comments? What do you do?
Yabo ngiyablockana. What's up? Kodwa laba bakilindele nje ukuthi nje makutrend noma kukhulunywa ngawo bese belokhu bekubingelela uboniwe zala. Dude, asixoxe nawe ukhuluma, but just because ngiyatrenda today usufuna ukuthi ungibingelela ungitshengise ngihlaba ngoblock nje ngoba all this negativity that you bringing to me right now, I don't need that. Yeah, but what I need is love and focus and a person who's going to tell you as well things on the
Yeah,
but we do a lot, especially because most of us are cool as but the focus must always be there. You learn from your mistake and make sure that you do better next time.
wow, well done, Makoya parents. Because it's a fact, Durban rocks.
They really like what they see.
Just grab one.
You know, sometimes when going gets tough
Keep it to yourself.
and you are being attacked,
Take any.
Anyone.
and there are these people about my sympathizers.
Yeah.
You know, these sympathizers, they aggravate this thing. I always say, you know, when you are bereaved,
Yeah.
and there's these people that when Mnqithi and ukhala,
Yeah.
when ingoma yesonto, so ngena abanye futhi. Seniyakhala futhi. Kama mhlawumbe lento yamaSulumane okuvela kushona namhlanje ngokungcwathi kuba ngcono, because that week of being bereaved becomes the most painful week. The relief after the funeral is like, wow, what has happened?
Yeah.
And exactly what Tira is saying, because when the going gets tough, me now, unfortunately, I don't know on these things on social media. I don't have time for it, and I don't even have time for gossip.
Yeah.
So you can't start today now and want to gossip with me, because when you say, hey, Mlungwana did this, Tira, did he say it? Yes, I take my phone and I call. They know me. I call. Hey, Mlungwana. But when I would tell you, I don't tell you. Why did you tell me?
Yeah.
So it's a very painful time when everything is getting against you and people want to just come in and say, no, who's right? Just keep quiet.
Yeah.
I will deal with this thing better. Let's meet when I'm okay.
Yeah. Hey, she's called me. Leave us for 6 months. Move to Majo after 6 months. It's a grieving process. And you told me I'm not you. Yeah. Yeah, you like.
Wow.
Yeah. I believe it is 6 months. Yeah. Yeah. You talk a lot about bereavement, though, Coach. Maybe it's a story for another day. Right? There's every reference
In the
bereavement. Anyways, I've given you a chance to pick up a paper. We'll play a little game. But on the paper, there's a question. But you have to choose one person that you're going to ask that question to.
Oh, Lord.
One.
Okay.
Okay. But each one has to have a chance. So, you can't ask that person.
Okay.
Okay. So, let me start with you, Rose.
Ngibuza anyone.
Anyone you choose.
Okay.
Gladwin.
Nikombela kubuza. Okay. Take now umbuzo, okay. Okay. Please tell us your most traumatic experience.
What?
Most traumatic. You get traumatized. Wow. You can't believe that that was your trauma in your life.
I saw a snake somewhere in the soccer field.
You win. It's trauma.
I was traumatized.
Have you been to the zoo? You can see the snake there.
A big snake in the soccer field. I'm not
While playing? Or what?
What happened?
I'm trying to understand.
What happened?
Oh.
Hi, when I know. Take us through.
Wait. Yeah, now you're talking.
What happened?
So it was at night. We were in the clubhouse. So we received a call to come to the fields. The fields were just behind the clubhouse. When we went there, there's a sangoma. And there's a big snake. They said that sangoma arrested the snake. So
you had to jump.
No, we were watching.
For what? Oh, a ritual.
No. No, listen. We were called. They phoned.
Yeah.
They said, come to the field to see what's happening there.
Oh.
So
the
masifika.
sangoma is called in to take the snake.
No. Sifike sayithola
Sifike
lapha.
naso.
Mina angazi next sifonelwe sazobheka kuphela. Angibuzanga for Sifike ngabheka ngabaleka. I was traumatized.
If you know by inyoka nesangoma.
Ngiyakutshela angazi sibathola lapho.
Afuna ukuba witness. Mhlawumbe icase isavuliwe.
A big snake.
Yo, that sounds interesting.
It is.
So it was like anaconda vibes.
Yeah.
Record.
All right, Makoy. Yeah.
Now
what do you wanna ask?
uphethe la.
Buza. Khetha umuntu kuqala.
Hawu.
Celeste.
Ngabe uphethe Nick.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
What? Yini hlanganiseni la?
What is your biggest turn off?
Okay. It's turn off yami like to anyone or any what on in relationships. It's turn off in relationship is to be cruel. I love kind people. I don't care you can have all your faults and everything, but if I truly get along with kind people. You can have all your faults, but when you're kind, and I'm not saying nice, kind, and kindness, we want to go to umuntu uyikhomisa again. So umuntu nje ohleze rough. I mean, I have a big voice and a rough voice, but I'm a teddy bear. Angeke ngihambe kusukela umzala ke uyagazi thank you mzala ngikhulumele. So yeah, I think my turn off is just ugly heart and people who's always been nasty.
So you wouldn't date most politicians?
Never.
I should say.
Never.
Anyways, Sifiso, it's your turn now. Who do you want to ask?
I'm gonna ask the coach.
Ah.
Give me one reason that makes you lie to your friend.
Interesting.
One
Same time. I get it.
One reason that you would, though, that's what you're saying.
Don't let me make him lie
One
to his
reason
friends.
that he would lie.
No, like what reason made him lie before?
Oh, I see.
Oh,
Yeah,
of
to
course
his
you've lied
Something
before.
that's happened.
Yeah.
No, it's true. I saw my friend's partner,
Ooh. Yeah, rough.
and the woman went to tell my friend that uMnqoba ungibonile ngisho ukuthi ucabanga ukuthi ngihamba naye, because she was trying to defend.
Yeah.
You get fast.
And I said, I never even saw her
Wow.
because I did not want to be part.
I couldn't ever.
I was not there. Why remove a situation? I was not there.
Because the woman went ahead to tell my friend, because knowing the type of a person that I am, said, lo uzofonela umngani wakhe manje asho ukuthi uqeda ngibona le ndoda. Then my friend phones me now, sefuna ukuthi I verify ukuthi did I see umuntu wakhe, whether ngabo kuyi friend nabo ngayona friend nabo kuyini ngabona. Yazi, for me to be out of this nonsense, angibonanga wayena lo muntu wakhe uthi ngibone.
So that question, are they still together?
Hey, abangani bakhe bonke bazokuza bethi bukhuluma ngami lapha.
So he's so safe. Yeah, wamtshela what eventually. Usazofind out time.
JACINTA. Ufuna lesi story ke manje.
Nqubeko, it's your turn.
Yeah, Sifiso. What pissed you off lately? Yini chifiza umoya, ukuphula umoya lately.
Like namhlanje
lately, yeah.
And be honest, Sifiso.
ngicikile
Yeah.
coach ngithethe serintenge ungisukele kungemini kubeka ibhola lapha thethe wathi Sifiso siyasebenza la wena beka amapho kungabeka kambili ibhola tha coach kodwa kosaphatha la kapha kwenze njalo yabona coach namhlanje hayi uyasho nje uyazi naye bazoyibuka nje uyena nje coach usukelile.
Usakhuluma ngo-coach asengena. Coach, it's your turn to ask.
The idea of a perfect date.
Idea of a perfect date.
Ayigcina ninje.
Hawu I'm sure usuwenzele baningi. Caphule you-one lapha.
Ngiyathatha from so ishayela nje Cape Town. This is how.
Watch out. Parents.
Perfect ngoba Cape Town.
Perfect ngoba ikude from abo chichi nabo chase. Abazi lokubesifonela bese siyabuya noma sibuye. Freedom yethu nje.
Okubalekela ingane.
Yabo nje. As you know, me and my wife have been through a lot, and she's been a rock.
Shame so much.
Yeah, so for me, putting him out once in a while and keep it out, you try some more, yeah, you forgot it.
I see, but the Gigi is the one that's the biggest problem. Chase, yeah. That's what Gigi.
Gigi has got another parents growing.
She is the father's daughter, I'm telling you. Gladwin?
Ngibutisa wena.
Awubuthisha mina. Ngibuthishiwe mina. Buthisha tell person.
Nqubeko.
Ngizobuza wena. Childhood career choice?
We all know that, right?
Yeah, that's why I wanted to go there.
Yeah, okay.
That one is boring. We all know that one already. Asking, I hope that one is spicy.
One of your insecurities.
Yo.
Insecurity. That you feel like this. Ikwenza ungazithembi noma ube otherwise.
Ungayithembi uzozala kuyibafana bafana.
Exactly.
Ngibe insecure. Okay, well, for one, usinibonile mengihleka anginalo izinyo la ngala. Lesine somewhere, so give somewhere insecure. I don't know. I don't have a lot of those. That's the thing. I don't have a lot of those. Just that I'm one person who has zero confidence in the ningi. If zero, I'm a bit shy. A way lot more shy. Yeah, nama looks wami not happy, but yeah.
Learning to make fun.
Uzobe ufana noTira nawe. Ngoba kunzima ingwenya zizofa ngoba and kufanele ukukhuphula confidence yakho ngoba kusukela manje usuzoba yithele mina nje kuzofanele Celeste ulomfana behlele base usayanga ufresh bambe sengifonela uJacinta ngiJacinta abantu bafuna nami Jacinta.
Wait, but do you guys have girlfriends just so we know so that's off the record?
Oh wow, you look at me.
Yeah, what
Then it was a joke.
It was a joke.
Maybe don't go one direction. Just ask. They have boyfriends.
Coach. And you can see the coach. Come and say
He's
coach.
But South African footballers are not really bad.
JACINTA.
Sorry, but what is there to be ashamed of? It's
I am nothing ashamed. Which one appeal on target market? So
I know, but I thought. So you're saying like it's a thing in football, like
it's everywhere.
and you guys know? I'm not like I was thinking is
Tina
confused. Why is it not like a thing? You know what I mean? I'm not you know, they, you know.
But what
I don't think I've ever seen a football player like open.
But angeka be usomizigeke phela udlale nebaby hair kuningi okuzokwenzeka so bazoba strong babe right ukuthi nje awuzukwazi wena kuba kanjalo
Nokhuza ubando oyishade no Chris Jenner ulo
waye kudala washintsha before so I'm saying if you are now a football player obviously they can play it and whatever but I don't think there's a space.
But okay, that's not about a look, Celeste. It's about a sexual preference. So I'm saying it's because I've never seen a football player in South Africa.
I guess that's what I'm trying to explain.
Not even in Europe, there's one who came out and then
but I'm saying
I don't think I've ever seen him really play football.
It's an environment, your community and everything.
This is serious stuff.
Yeah,
it's happened.
Yeah, so there's still a
but what's never baby flamboyant. That's what I'm saying.
Though if someone came out
We
and
don't
said,
know.
Can't even show because they don't want to be made examples.
Yeah.
So is it the fans that are the biggest problem?
Or even your teammates.
Really?
Even your teammates.
I think I'm not sure. I was about to ask that. So now if they know which one because now if let's say tables are turned and someone says because that's what happened to me. We know us as girls. I like you.
We're used to that. Us with us.
Yeah, but we're used to it until someone says I love you for real. Then you're never gonna kiss that person. But we say it like this.
No, I'm not gonna kiss them. But I mean, like they say that all the time.
Of course, of girls are like that. All I'm saying is, once someone says they have a feeling for you, like they proper, they want to date you. You can't be now. You can't be now all of a sudden go. Why? Because we have to have fun.
I went to school, girls. That was normal.
Yes, you don't understand. It was normal because as women, it's normal for us.
Yes.
But when someone proclaims that in this environment, we pajama parts, imagine you're for I'm saying I protect but
that is so sad. People like stereotype around being so. Okay, let me just. I just wanna understand. Now you're killing me. Right? I'm trying to figure out. So if I am a soccer player and I love another man, are you saying to me I have to pretend to love women so that I am accepted, or do I just what must I do?
Don't come out.
Just don't come out.
Because your teammates will judge. Your supporters will judge. The society is very cruel towards these things because the football, when we are there, we call it a men's sport. And when you are going to be a CC there, then I might not even put you in the lineup sometimes because you don't fight hard enough like others. When others are fighting when you are here.
That's also a stereotype though.
It's a stereotype.
I mean, being gay doesn't necessarily mean, they are like gay men, like that. It's just that I like another man, but it doesn't take anything away from my physicality.
But that means they could.
But bazokubuka ngenye indlela. Emsebenzini bazokubuka ngenye indlela because phela amadoda la kuphela. And then wena kusho ukuthi bona babuka ukuthi njengoba usibuka la njengoba sengibuka kanjena lo mhlawumbe uyangikonta ngicabangela yona ayibona leyo. Yabo.
Because sometimes uzombuka ngoba uadmire umsebenzi wakhe as a teammate. Then he says, hey, please, because you will be offended because already now people are looking at you with an finally and well done. So
but I'm sure there's been gay soccer players that they've kept it to themselves. I'm assuming. I'm asking. It's a statement question.
They are.
Yeah. That is such a crossover, like in entertainment. Like gay people are a thing. Like they are a thing. Like I'm sure. You know what I mean? You're. It's like more entertainment. You can't not have a gay friend. It's like it's not normal. You know what I mean?
I think it's one of those things that we say when we say we are growing. It's like these are the things because in America they were talking about people who are soldiers, who are trans now, not even just gay.
Until Donald Trump came and said, no, you can't identify as a tree.
No, but it's like, but I don't think. What did he say about a tree?
No. Honestly, in America. The reason why, the reason why Donald Trump came out and said there's only two genders is because people were going to school, children are being taught to come out as whatever they feel
yes,
like.
I remember that part.
You go to school today and you're like, I don't want to wear a skirt anymore. I'm a tree, you know? Or I identify as a pig. So I'm no longer identifying myself as a human being. I identify as sexual. There's so many words and theories that they came up with that Donald Trump was like, no, this is not going to be happening anymore. And I feel
but I guess also it's like, where do we end? Because then if it's going to be a tree and a plant, then it's at this point. And you know what's the funny thing is, everyone can be anything in this generation. You can be a tree, a pig, or whatever. But how dare you become a different woman? That's the question. Like most people, like I feel like everyone, obviously. This whole sexual thing, it's what you do at home. It's not what you do here. Unfortunately or fortunately for us in the tennis space, everyone has a space to express themselves. Because I'm not uniform for entertainment. I'm fine at the point. So we finally does up like then you say there are so many people in the entertainment space that are from LGBT communities. No, it's because they have a chance to express themselves better than most people who are nurses. Say working in the mines, because you can't tell me that this sexuality is catered only for this industry. There's no such. It's just that the other people don't have the chance or the space to express themselves. Just like the artists are lucky. We decide when. So you get the chance to express yourself so that people can say,
I thank God we're born in South Africa because I mean so many countries are putting restrictions and limitations against people coming out as gay and transgender. I know I saw China as well saying no more people identify. You're not even allowed to fly the LGBTQI flag. America's doing the same kind of limiting.
So we're gonna go back to people who are hiding.
People are basically. Uganda is very strict. They kill you.
I'm worried because I feel like it's better for men to tell us than now for most men who are going to do what they in the past.
But I feel like we're doing the talking and the men are like quiet. Why is this gay? Why is this gay talking so uncomfortable? But no, it's okay. Let me not put you in any more of an awkward position. We've had a great conversation, and thank you so much for watching this podcast. It's been absolutely amazing. Please don't forget to click on the button to subscribe so that you're a part of our next episode. It's been absolutely fantastic. I have had a fantastic time and couldn't have chosen a better crew to have this 4th episode with. We appreciate you, and please spread the word. Share it on your social media as much as you want, and we'll catch you again next time.